stumbling block for General Mills, steering the company through inflation without passing costs on to consumers.
If we do our job right and we're driving productivity, that takes some of the sting out, because that's costs that we don't have passed back certainly ultimately to the consumer. But the other job is to make sure that if we've got consumers that are looking for value, that we're hitting them with the right promotions and the right incentives, as well as we've got pack sizes to kind of meet their price point expectations. That's a big part of the job.
Kofi Bruce is an executive sponsor of General Mills' Black Champions Network. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Reverend, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Friday, August 2nd, 2024. I try to, make relevant, what's happening in the world, specifically the political world, make it relevant for Milwaukee. And I think lately I've been overly focused on the national political stuff, and rightfully so. The Democratic nominee for president has changed in the last 2 weeks, so I suppose that is worthy of note. The Republican nominee has not, also worthy of note. But how does the city of Milwaukee fit into the national political landscape, considering how important the vote is in this city to the overall electoral vote total that both candidates are vying for? We know that if Milwaukee turns out in a very big number, the likelihood that Wisconsin will be a blue state increases exponentially. So really, this is a turnout game in the city of Milwaukee. I have been quite dismissive lately because I wanted to get a lot of specific information out about what the Kamala Harris candidacy is going to look like, what her campaign looks like. It's great that all these groups are coming together, different, almost like segregated fundraising Zoom calls. There was a Black Men for Kamala Zoom call where they raised a couple $1 million. There was a Black Women for Kamala Harris Zoom call, raised a few $1 million. There was also a White Dudes for Kamala Harris fundraiser that raised $3 or $4 million. Only Democrats and only the left can get away with that. Could you imagine if Donald Trump had a White Men for Donald Trump fundraiser to raise millions of dollars? So how does Milwaukee, in the state that we are currently in, fit in? And so when people ask, and this is what I've been dismissive of, when people ask, oh, what do I get for my vote? And I got to go into healthcare stuff and the platitudes and the platform of the Democratic Party in hopes that whatever those policy initiatives are get passed with the help of Republicans, which is a long shot. Then it turns into some kind of funding or financial resources that comes to the state of Wisconsin that gets delivered to the governor. But if the referenda that are on your August 13th ballot passes with yes votes, then that money won't go to the governor. It'll go to a Republican state legislature. So when I tell folks, hey, vote for Kamala Harris and the Democrats, but if we lose the governor's authority to allocate money to Milwaukee where it's needed, then we will lose. I'm losing sight of something, though, speaking of losing, a real detailed snapshot of where the city of Milwaukee is right now. Not the downtown stuff. The downtown stuff is fine, but more communities. More importantly and more specifically, the largest minority community in the city of Milwaukee, Black Milwaukee. I saw a documentary last night. I wish I didn't see it. I wish I didn't. A guy named Tommy G, who we've had on the program, I can't tell you how many times. He made the Kia Boys documentary. He makes all sorts of documentaries about unexamined cultural phenomenon. Like he'll go down to the border and talk to and interview drug traffickers. How he gets these interviews, I have no idea. Maybe it's because he seems to be just an unassuming white fella. He gets access to places that most of us simply would not. And he also gets access to places that most of us don't want to be. Well, he has a documentary. I'm not sure how recent it is. I know I just saw it for the first time last night, where he explores Black neighborhoods in Milwaukee. More like the cultural figures that are important in these Black neighborhoods in Milwaukee. So he's in the Harambe neighborhood, I think. What's First and Chambers? Is that Harambe? Savanna doesn't know.
I'm directionally challenged.
So one guy that he interviews is 414 Big Frank, who is a famed Milwaukee rapper. And then he interviews another guy, and this is his name, Super Throwed Dave. You know who Super Throwed Dave is? Okay, Savanna knows who that is. And they are snapshots of Milwaukee's youth and youth culture. And then, of course, the music is very important. The lingo, which I felt very old because some of the lingo I've heard, most of it I can't understand. But that makes sense, though. Par for the course. I'm an old man, and the children always have their slang words. Makes sense. We had our slang words, too. And some of us Generation Xers hang on to our slang words like they're still relevant now. They probably aren't. However, I digress. As I'm watching this documentary, I'm looking at how detached I am from them and how detached they are from all the other things going on in the world, especially the political world. So these are folks, and it's all Black men. Well, there's a couple of Black women that come in at the end, but they were only invited in the video to twerk. Not kidding. That's the only reason why they were invited. But the conversation that Tommy G has with these young Black men, it was astonishing to me because I couldn't have the same kind of conversation with them because I would look at them not for who they are in the moment, but what their potential is. And I'd be very disappointed in what they're doing in the moment because they got stacks of money and pistols hanging out their pockets. But they're having the time of their lives and they're dancing to low-end music. And I'm thinking to myself, is this Is this the future of Milwaukee? Like, is this what is influencing children that are younger than them? Because these are guys of influence. A 414 Big Frank, he wasn't really that. Like, his activities weren't really below board. They did get really, really drunk on camera, though. They drank several bottles of liquor, which is probably not the best look for young people that are looking up to people like 414 Big Frank. But this other guy, Super Throw Dave, he was a specimen, and I hope he's not listening. Or maybe he is listening. I don't know. And no shade or no slight against him, but I can only think about the influence that he has on black youth. And I want to have influence on them, too. And you guys want to have influence on them as well, because we see some of the things. This is not all the kids, but we see some of the activities that black youth are involved in, and a lot of them are getting killed. They're dying in reckless driving incidents. Either they're victims or they're perpetrators. They get shot a lot. A bunch of them are going missing. And so I weep very much for the future. But then when I watched this documentary, it was like an expose into young, modern, black, North Side culture. And I felt like it was something from another country. And I was like, I live a mile and a half away from where they filmed a lot of this documentary. You would think that we live 5,000 miles away. I can't talk politics with these guys. Wouldn't make any sense to them. They didn't talk about their employment, but you know how you can look at somebody and really tell that they're unemployed, especially if they're filming a documentary at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, unless they work an unusual shift. But nah, I don't think so. I also looked at something else that I don't want to say it bothers me about the city, because we know it exists and we just ignore it, or we don't really talk about it. And this is all me like brainstorming and thinking how I can make national politics relevant to our folks here, so it'll be easier to have the conversation when it comes time to vote. A bunch of y'all are not going to vote, and there's nothing I can say, and I got to realize that I can't save and fix everybody. I can't get everybody on the right track. I can't get everybody to embrace the same types of knowledge that we're going to need for the future and the salvation of our community. So I got to work with the people that I got. But I want to grow that number. We don't have any rich black people in Milwaukee. When I say we don't have any, we don't have many, we don't have enough, and there's so few of them that we can't witness their impact on the city. I know a few rich black people. When I say a few, like, can fit on one hand, that I would consider rich. There's not many. And so if we need resources or philanthropy or just their presence of, like, successful, like, did it the right way, successful, followed the rules, you know, went to school, got a degree, became a lawyer, started a business, started a bunch of businesses. There's not enough of them. I think that we can create, and we have created, very successful, I mean wealthy guys, like real money, like millions and millions of dollars, to where they don't have to worry about money, where they can spend most of their days giving their money away. That's what rich people do. Rich people give their money away. We don't have enough of those African Americans that can be of influence, positive influence, and cultural influence in our community, because if a black person gets rich here, they leave. They don't stay. They don't invest. They don't have their influence be spread far and wide. They leave and they go be successful and be rich somewhere else. And I think that has a negative impact on us as well, because if we need philanthropic dollars, like a lot of the black community, not a lot, enough, too much of the black community survives and thrives on nonprofits and nonprofit organizations and nonprofit grants and money coming from somewhere, either from other people or coming from organizations or coming from the government, investing in just like basic necessities in the black community. But we don't have enough people, black people with money, to invest in the black community. You know, I wish that we had a thriving, beautiful, brand new, shiny, multi-million-dollar black cultural center. I think they're building one. Don't quote me on that, which is good. But I know we don't have one right now. It also is competitive. The success of Black Milwaukee is competitive with the mayor's Grow MKE plan, where they want to grow the city of Milwaukee to 1 million residents, basically doubling the population of the city. And if we don't have a solid foundation in the African-American community culturally and financially, then we're going to displace a lot of black folks. A lot. And I don't know where we're going to go, because we will not be able to stay here, because the cost of housing, which is already expensive and getting more expensive, is going to go up exponentially when people move here. Because when people move to Milwaukee, it's not going to be black people. You guys know that. Black folks aren't coming here. Black folks are leaving here. They're leaving. If they get money, they get success, they get an education, and maybe they don't go far. Maybe they don't go to New York or Atlanta or D.C. or L.A. They go to Waukesha. They go to Ozaukee County. They live in Mequon, which might as well be as far away as New York, Atlanta, D.C., or L.A., because their cultural influence has next to no impact. Every now and again, I'll hear of a wealthy black family, because they're always proud of their roots. Oh, my grandmother lived on 3rd and Chambers, and oh, we loved Milwaukee growing up. We left in the 1980s, but sometimes we come back to the Sherman Phoenix and buy a meal. We support the black, and they go right back out to Mequon. It's clearly not enough. But I worry about the future of us. There's a New York Times article that I read many, many years ago, and I found it. Took a long time to find it. And it sums it up. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to take a break. I want to read parts of it to you. I'll do that in my next segment. We're one of the only cities in the country, and it's evident now because of what I've been hearing from you all. It's like this, there's an undercurrent of anger that exists amongst middle class, upper middle class African Americans against poor black folks. A bunch of y'all are against affordable housing. We're going to need it if we're going to grow the city to 1 million people. Otherwise, the black folks are going to get displaced. And the voting power that we have right now that we still don't really maximize is going to get further diluted. If we add 500,000 people, let's say the mayor gets his wish and we add 1 million people to the city of Milwaukee. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I don't know if it's going to take years, decades, centuries. I don't know. But let's just say that actually happens, right? How many of them do you think do you really believe are going to be African American? Especially when we're building downtown upwards. Like, downtown is not really spreading out. It's going up because they're building more high rises. So people are moving downtown, but they're living higher and higher in the sky. So we're not really spreading it out very much. And if we do spread downtown out near South Side, near North Side, that's what we call gentrification. That's going to very quickly force more African Americans out of the city. But we're a very unique case, and this New York Times article that I read many, many years ago is still very relevant now, because now I'm seeing it come to fruition. The article is almost 10 years old. Us in Newark, New Jersey, are pretty much the only two cities where African Americans that make $150,000 a year routinely live in the same neighborhoods, on the same blocks as African Americans who make minimum wage. Now, I need you to think about that for a second, because if you make, and this is 10 years ago dollars, inflation has probably changed those numbers to $200,000+ a year, but then the same people making minimum wage are our neighbors. This is when we complain about the youth and the bad black behavior and the reckless driving, and we don't want affordable housing in our neighborhood, because we're very, very close to the people who are on the lowest end of the income and education spectrum. And then the other one, the garbage that gets left. Because if you own your home, let's say you're one of those people that makes 150, 175 combined household income, $200,000, but you still live in a black neighborhood, and there's people that rent the house next door, and there's a 4-family down the street, and there's a duplex over here that might be vacant, but you have money. You don't want to leave the city. You haven't left the city. You're content. Maybe your house is paid for, but you live next to people that have very little and make very little. Maybe there's Section 8 housing right down the street from where you own your property. We're one of the only cities that do that. And interesting, they did a contrast in this New York Times article. Even white families that are poor are much more likely to live in a neighborhood with other white families that are rich. It's the wildest thing ever. White families that are poor and low income still live in neighborhoods at a higher rate than blacks now that have great public infrastructure, beautiful parks, perfectly paved roads and good schools. But African Americans don't have that same situation, where wealthier black families live in the exact same neighborhoods as poor black families, and there's this animosity that's building between the two. In the event that we grow this city, we have to worry about what happens to the least of us, and then I only can default to the education system where you have 80+% of black kids right now, that are not proficient in reading and math. Ladies and gentlemen, like that is failure lying in wait, like life failure. If you can't read and do math, it just doesn't work real good for you. It's not going to work out so well. And sometimes we bring up the problem. Sometimes there's people that want to do something about it. I know a lot of times we pretty much ignore it. Let me tell you how we ignore it. We're the kings and queens. Like, this city is royalty when it comes to giving away school supplies and backpacks, because we're so optimistic that this is going to be the year that the kids catch up. Oh, we have so many backpack giveaways. We give away so many backpacks here. I think we're going to have more backpacks and school supplies than we have kids. I've been to so many damn backpack giveaways. At the end of the event, they have them at Sherman Park and McGovern Park. They have them all over. But back to school festival. And I think part of it is the parents are just happy to get the damn kids out the house. Back to school festival. You got a back to school block party. Back to school giving away backpacks. I remember going to a back to school festival at Sherman Park, and they had so many backpacks left over. Like, Sherwin, here, take 7 backpacks. Here, just take them with you. Like, I don't need colored pencils and notebooks and folders with transformers on them. Here, take them. We have too many. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back, and I have to try and figure out, like, what are we going to do? Because there's a section of our community that is so incredibly detached, and I don't know what their future looks like. Like, what are their jobs going to be? What are they going to do for a living? They all can't work at the Walmarts. They're starting to close the Walmarts. They're closing the Walgreenses. They're closing all of the things where people can just go and just get a job. You know, you can't be what's the person called at the grocery store? The beep, the person that does the scanning, a cashier. Now the cashiers are being automated. You can't even be a cashier no more. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, read the New York Times article. We're going to get this all figured out in the next 2.5 hours. Right, Savanna? Right. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's good, y'all? This is 101.7 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Award-winning free healthcare benefits.
Retirement benefits, including 401k match.
100% company-funded employee stock ownership plans.
A company that's all about promoting from within, offering clear paths for growth.
That's Golden Pet Manufacturing. And they're now hiring for a variety of roles, including machine operator, material handler, maintenance technician, sanitation technician, and production supervisor. Apply at Golden Pet Manufacturing today. Just go to goldenpetmanufacturing.com and click
Work Here.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get your tickets now to the Milwaukee Gala that helps empower communities and change lives. Join us at the new rooftop ballroom of the Baird Center for Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Black and White Ball, celebrating legacy and impact. It's all happening on Saturday, November 2nd, with entertainment by Shantae Moore. This event will sell out. Get your ticket and sponsorship information now at tmul.org and click on the Black and White Ball link. That is tmul.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Again, rap and I make this laugh, I'm in mode with it. These niggas talking crazy, I'm gonna reach to this. Too many in this.
On the backpack loaded up with things and knickknacks too.
Yeah, we got it all.
So this is 414 Big Frank. I heard this song in the documentary. Apparently, this is one of his more popular songs. He says in this documentary about the people of Milwaukee's black neighborhoods that Tommy G was the executive producer of. He said, I hate this song. And I was like, oh, Big Frank, but everybody loves this song. It's the most popular song. He's like, that's why I hate it. Because people ask me to perform it all of the time. Every time they see me, they want me to perform it.
That makes sense. Also, do you think Tommy G is like a modern day anthropologist or something?
He's been described as a lot of things. I know I took a ton of heat when I interviewed him right after the Kia Boys documentary came out. So when I talked to Tommy G, the Kia Boys documentary was maybe 10,000 views. It is in the millions now. Now, it was seen by people in our city, and the people that were in it, they saw it, and they made it go moderately viral the first, couple of weeks that it was out. But then it just totally exploded, and it really set his career on a whole nother trajectory. But he goes into places, but he goes in as like an unassuming white guy with a bunch of really simple questions, and it's amazing how the people are just okay talking to him. Like, he is welcomed in the hood. Like, they hug him and they're happy to see him, because there are folks that, and I know this exists, that have zero voice. Their voices don't get out. Like, their voices are circulating amongst one another, but that's also an impact of the segregation of Milwaukee. Our culture is kind of segregated too. Now, low-end music is becoming popular, but recently, in the last maybe couple of years. But for the most part, Milwaukee black youth culture is very insular. It's relegated to certain neighborhoods.
How would you describe low-end music?
What you just played. There's a beat and a dance. The dance that I had you and Zach were doing last week. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. I guess I'm just trying to think of, is what I was listening to in high school, is that considered low-end music? I don't know. But there is Milwaukee, rappers and artists and stuff like that, so I don't know if those are...
There's a very specific style. The beats, the tone, the tempo, even the way that they rap and how that they rhyme, it's all very similar. I wish I could give you a better example of it. Like, I hear it in my mind, but I don't know if I can regurgitate it out of my mouth.
I think I know what you mean. I'm just thinking of what you consider Chicken P. Well, he used to be called Little Chicken when I was in high school.
I can't even tell you what any of his songs are. But there's a beat. The beat is always a clap. And the dance that y'all do, this and this.
I think that's new. Yeah.
Okay, all of that stuff. And then it really exploded. I think 6 months ago, Chris Brown did one of those famed Milwaukee dances on stage, and that's how people Milwaukee rap is circulating around the world. But a lot of folks just don't really know about the culture that exists here. And if we grow this city, those are the people that we have to be most worried about. And I also don't want to relegate the crime and the problems and the issues and the trouble that we have to Milwaukee's youth. But if you're not in school and you can't read and you can't do math, statistically, things are not going to work out for you, because there's a there are waiting arms for young people that are not proficient in reading and math. And a lot of times those waiting arms are the Grim Reaper or a warden. And a whole culture is created out of that. And because Milwaukee is a city where upper middle class and damn near wealthy black folks live on the same blocks in the same neighborhoods as poor black people, there's conflict there. Because we get mad at them because they don't vote, they don't take care of their kids are out till 3 o'clock in the morning, and the kids are shooting guns and driving recklessly and stealing cars. And we are the ones that are the most upset by that because we're closest to it. In fact, we have a hotkey of a karate sound because that's how we refer to those black folks. We call them ninjas. Because that's, there you go. And it gets played often because a lot of y'all complain about some of the things that you see in black culture. And I don't think it comes from a place of hate. It's a place of disappointment. Because we've always had this stratification of our culture where if there's a black person or a black family that, quote unquote, made it, became successful, we look at other black folks and say, well, how come you didn't make it? What's your problem? Why didn't you do what I did? And that's a reasonable question because a lot of them like grew up together and went to high school together. It's just some people excelled and some people sank. From the New York Times, many of the nation's racial disparities stem from the simple economic fact that white families make more money than black families on average, a gap that has remained stubbornly large in recent decades. Yet neither this income gap nor blatant discrimination is the only reason for the disparities. A new study by 3 Stanford researchers highlights another big cause, the neighborhood gap. Even among white and black families with similar incomes, white families are much more likely to live in good neighborhoods with high-quality schools, daycare options, parks, playgrounds, and transportation options. The study comes to this conclusion by mining census data and uncovering a striking pattern. White and Asian American middle-income families tend to live in middle-income neighborhoods. Black middle-income families tend to live in distinctly lower-income ones. Shocking to me. But there's a racial component to that as well. Because if you are a black middle-income or higher-income family, you may still feel more comfortable around black folks, even if they are of lower income, than you feel in a neighborhood that is homogeneously white. I'm going to pause there, take a break, and come back, because they reference Milwaukee in this article, and this article is from 2015, so it's 9 years old. But what they are talking about in this article is playing out right now in the city of Milwaukee, and I think it is a source of conflict amongst African Americans who've got different levels of education and income versus some of their neighbors who have lower incomes and lower education. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, join the United Negro College Fund as they host their 40th annual Milwaukee Walk for Education at Veterans Park on Saturday, August 10th. The event raises funds to support scholarships for students at historically black colleges and universities across the country, and 2024 marks the 80th anniversary where they have raised over $5 billion and supported over 500,000 students. Join the UNCF Walk for Education on Saturday, August 10th at Veterans Park starting at 8 a.m. by visiting uncf.org/events to register today.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
We're at a turning point in Milwaukee's political history as we go towards the end of this year and into 2025. The choices we make now will have a lasting impact on our city in the future. The impending financial difficulties necessitate a cooperative strategy that unites every aspect of our society to create long-term fixes. There has never been any question about the tenacity and the spirit of Milwaukeeans, and it is this strength that we need to utilize more than ever. Our future depends on creative problem solving, utilizing cross-border alliances, and being dedicated to making sure that all Milwaukeeans' voices, especially those of the historically marginalized, are acknowledged and heard during the policymaking process.
Prioritizing equitable development will ensure that long-standing imbalances are addressed and economic growth will benefit all Milwaukee citizens. You know, it's essential to make investments in Milwaukee's public services, infrastructure, educational systems in order to both prevent the budget crisis and create a more robust and energetic city. Now, as we traverse these obstacles, let us never forget that our community is our most valuable resource. And by working together, we can overcome any challenge and create a future that embodies Milwaukee's greatest qualities, which are resilience, being inclusive, and being a successful city.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
The Brewers Sunday Fun Day Bundle is your new way to brunch this summer. Get tickets, food, beverages, and parking for up to 15 people, starting at $62. Get yours at brewers.com/funday.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Hurt by a truck? Call Gruberg offices. One call, that's all.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ashley says, just a heads up, they're doing another backpack school supply giveaway at Sherman Park on August 13th from 2 until 7. Well, of course they are. Alderman Mark Chambers has arguably, other than Homer Blow's birthday party for the kids, which is at the end of June, those are two of the biggest school supply, backpack. They give away bikes. They give away all sorts of things. It's good to see the greater community come together to, submit things to be donated. Walmart gives a lot, which makes sense because we spend a ton of money at Walmart. If there's even any left, well, there's East Capitol.
I just feel like, okay, the back to school backpack, whatever drives, I think they're nice, but they would be better used or utilized with like teachers. So instead of giving them to the actual students, maybe those supplies can be given to teachers, because a lot of times teachers are coming out of pocket for things that they shouldn't have to. So maybe if we turn it or transition into like a teacher give back or whatever, that would be nice.
We were running an ad here for a really long time, for years. It was a public service announcement, and we started running it even before we moved to the 3rd Street Market Hall. So we started running this PSA. We don't run it anymore, but we started running it when we were still at Radio City on East Capitol Drive. And it's basically a nonprofit organization that asks people to donate money to teachers, because teachers come out of their pocket something like $2 billion a year. Now, here's the other thing. All the money that teachers spend on classroom and school-related supplies, they get to write off on their taxes. So, yeah, there's money coming out of their pocket, but they get it back.
Yeah, but I want to see the money in my hand first. I shouldn't have to come out of my pocket and wait. I don't think that's fair. That's like going to a corporate job and you got to pay for the laptop they want to give you. That's crazy.
Yeah, but then they reimburse you for it, though.
But I'm still out of that until tax season.
No, fair enough. I understand. So the generosity, because I wonder where all that generosity is. Wait till y'all see. When you start really paying attention to how many backpack giveaways there are, you're like, yo, this is outrageous. So there's generosity, apparently, and we do want to invest in our students, even though that investment is minimal. Because if they can't write, what good is a pencil? But I also think, so there's generosity, like, oh, we want to help the children. Because having supplies is important, but it doesn't necessarily increase a student's aptitude or success. You got to have the utensils, I suppose, but it doesn't really help proficiency if they have the pen and they have the notebook and they don't know how to write anything in it. It also is a vulnerability that we have because, we do have a disproportionate amount of poverty in the black community. I got that information too. This is just staggering. According to Data USA, the median household income for Milwaukee, $49,733. However, a UWM report states that the median black household income is only 42% of a white household. Black residents in Wisconsin are 244% more likely to live in poverty than white residents. Staggering. That in and of itself creates a culture, right? One of the reasons I think why we have so many backpack giveaways, there's a lot. Like they're going to start in the next week. Some people that otherwise don't really have much interest in dealing with the African American community or working with us or helping bridge gaps that exist between us and other census tracts. The only way they really have access to our community is if they're giving stuff away. Because a lot of times these backpack giveaways are sponsored by all sorts of groups and organizations that want to interact with the black community because they want our dollars, because they know that black people are consumers, but they can't just barge their way into the black neighborhood. But if they come with 500 backpacks, then we let them set up shop. That is an entryway into our community. If you come bearing gifts like, hey, we're from the XYZ Company Corporation. Oh, we have a building in Cudahy. We have a shop in Fox Point. Oh, here, we brought a whole bunch of backpacks. Take information about our business. So that's one way in which they can gain entry and access to us and our kids and our parents, et cetera, because you got to wonder, well, where is that generosity that they have when it comes to backpack giveaways? Where is it manifesting itself all the other days of the year? Let me get back to this article, though. Even among white and black families with similar incomes, white families are much more likely to live in good neighborhoods with high-quality schools, daycare options, parks, playgrounds, and transportation. The study comes to this conclusion by mining census data and uncovering a striking pattern. White and Asian American middle-income families tend to live in middle-income neighborhoods. Black middle-income families tend to live in distinctly lower-income neighborhoods. Most strikingly, the typical middle-income black family lives in a neighborhood with lower incomes than the typical low-income white family. Quote, I was surprised by the magnitude, said Sean Reardon, a professor at Stanford Graduate School of Education and the paper's lead author. I thought comparing people at exactly the same income level would get rid of more of the neighborhood differences than it did. The findings are especially notable because they come shortly after a separate research project by two Harvard economists that was covered in detail in the Upshot. That project has tracked several million children since the 1980s to analyze how the area in which they grew up affected their lives. Children who grew up in better neighborhoods, which tended to have less poverty, less crime, more two-parent families, and schools with higher test scores fared much better as adults than otherwise similar children from worse neighborhoods. Hence why, when the opportunity arose, a lot of black families that took advantage of factory employment, industrial employment, manufacturing employment moved to the suburbs when the Fair Housing Act was signed into law in 1968. Black folks that made it or made some money, two-income black households where both parents were working, left the city and moved out to the suburbs as soon as they possibly could, because for a while it was illegal. The housing segregation that we have here was created very much on purpose because even black families that had money some time ago, they simply could not get a mortgage outside of certain census tracts in the city. It took federal legislation signed by a Democrat to allow black people to get mortgages anywhere they choose. That doesn't mean that things turned around right away, because black folks still feel comfortable living around other black people, because white folks had occupied suburban areas for a very, very long time. And so even when we had the same incomes as the white folks in the suburbs, the cultural and racial differences made it very uncomfortable. So you're better off living next to poor black folks than living next to middle class or upper income white folks, even if you can afford to live out there with them. Very complicated dynamic. But at the end of the day, a lot of black families said, screw it, we're just going to be uncomfortable, or we'll keep to ourselves. But we want our children to go to school at Whitefish Bay or Shorewood or Cudahy or the St. Francis or wherever, Maguanaskego or whatever the place may be called. The new paper being published in the Annals of the American Academy of Political and Social Science suggests that these neighborhood effects are helping to widen racial disparities, including disparities in the upwardly mobile. Consider these numbers. A typical black child living in a household with $100,000 in annual income lives in a neighborhood with a median income of $54,400. And a black child in a household making $50,000 typically lives in a neighborhood with a median income of $42,000. White and Asian children are much more likely to live in neighborhoods where median income is similar to or higher than that of their own family. Could you imagine if black people lived in neighborhoods where the income was higher than the average black family? Just the amenities that would be available, the additional tax base that would be available, the higher quality of the schools. The gaps are the largest across much of the Northeast and, of course, the Midwest. The two metropolitan areas where black and white children of similar family incomes grow up in the most economically different neighborhoods are Milwaukee and Newark, New Jersey. In both metro areas, a typical white family with a $50,000 annual income lives in a neighborhood with a median income 2 times larger than a typical black family of $50,000. Not far behind those two are Gary, Indiana, Bridgeport and Hartford, Connecticut, Buffalo, New York, Albany, New York, and Chicago, Illinois. We'll take a break. Come back. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Learn from experts at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Their faculty are recognized worldwide as leaders in their fields. You'll get to know them in small classes and through hands-on learning opportunities that provide real-world experience. Choose from more than 200 programs. Plus, new UWM freshmen are automatically considered for merit scholarships. You can receive up to $6,000 over 4 years. Find out why thousands of students are choosing the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Apply now.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get your tickets now to the Milwaukee Gala that helps empower communities and change lives. Join us at the new rooftop ballroom of the Baird Center for Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Black and and white ball, celebrating legacy and impact. It's all happening on Saturday, November 2nd, with entertainment by Shantae Moore. This event will sell out. Get your ticket and sponsorship information now at tmul.org and click on the black and white ball link. That is tmul.org.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I saw this free documentary on YouTube. I should probably get the name of it for you. Where Tommy G, who's been here a number of times, he's the one that did the original Kia Boys documentary. He talks to some African-American youth. One is a very famous Milwaukee rapper, and it's like a day in the life of these young black men. They're all under the age of 30. Some are probably under the age of 20. There's some teenagers in the video as well. And they're very happy to expose their lifestyle and what they do and, you know, their hobbies and the music they listen to and just like what they do in a day. It's like a day in the life. And it just seems so foreign to me. Some of it is age. But the other part is just there's a culture that exists in Milwaukee's many generations of untouched poverty. We've talked about the 53206 zip code. Some years ago, like that was the hot zip code to talk about because then we discovered that was the most incarcerated zip code in the state. All of the hard luck stories that people had in that zip code were coming up. And there was a whole bunch of documentaries made about 53206. And so we were made aware of it. But then I guess what do we do about it? I suppose there's been more investment and people have come together and there's been like urban gardens and things that build community. Those are all well and good. But a child's zip code is determinant on their future. Now, not 100%, but it weighs very, very heavily. And if you look at some of the things, and that's not the only zip code I want to pick on. You probably have a whole bunch of other zip codes that have similar circumstances. And then you look at the proficiency in reading and math of the schools or the kids that go to those schools in those zip codes, and you have your next generation of hopelessness. That is something that's missing, and I don't know who inspires it. I don't know who it has to be. Is it Kamala Harris? Is that one of those things, those intangibles that a president can deliver to their people? We always talk about the policy, like what policy they're going to deliver. I had a little brief conversation with Ben Jamin, I think it was yesterday. And he wonders, right, what can these politicians do for us? And I gave a number of scenarios, like typical African-American scenarios, you know, black families or black individuals that live deep in the throes of poverty and some of the things that arise from that culturally. No politician can help that. No politician can help fix bad decision making. No politicians can necessarily help, at least not overnight, a lack of resources in your community, lack of employment, lack of opportunity, and a general lack of hope. But that's why I think, so if Kamala tries to play to the culture, and I guess we've had mixed emotions and mixed responses to Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo being at that Atlanta rally, maybe that inspires kids to pay attention just a little bit more. Maybe us adults or other people see it as pandering, but you can't just talk boring policy and legislation all the time because it's boring. No one is interested in that, especially if they don't know how it relates. Because Kamala can do a bunch of stuff, okay? And then they say, okay, Milwaukee needs money for, I don't know, lead pipes or infrastructure or reading specialists or whatever. Well, then that money then gets written into the federal budget. Then it gets allocated to the U.S. Department of Education. Then MPS could qualify for the grant. MPS writes for the grant. The money comes to the state of Wisconsin. It goes to the governor. Then the governor allocates the money, maybe inside the budget or some other kind of way. It may be years before that money reaches the ground. And then when it does, it's going to take years to be able to see some kind of tangible difference. And maybe you don't see tangible differences at all. But maybe hope. Maybe there's a black girl somewhere that sees Kamala Harris and sees herself in Kamala Harris. Yes, Savanna.
I'm just saying that's me.
All right. Wonderful.
President Samuels.
There you go. I'll vote for you.
Really?
Probably. We'll see. Let's see who else is running. No, I'm just saying, I'm just not going to make up my mind just because I know you. You might be a crappy president. I want to vote for a crappy president.
I'm fine.
All right. Well, we'll see. Start working on your platform now if you want my vote. I'm a tough vote to get now.
I gave you a platform already.
If I didn't remember it, it probably sucked. I mean, no offense, but a lot of platforms suck.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Or here's something else that maybe can inspire hope. How about that DEI USA gymnastics team, right? With the black girl and the Asian girl, Simone Biles, and the Asian lady, Suni Lee, I think that's her name. She won a bronze. Simone Biles won a gold. Look at that. I saw they did a little expose on the local news where they went to like a little local gymnastics gym. We got a bunch of little girls that can't do nothing more than cartwheels, but that's where they trained the little girls to be gymnasts, and it was all little white girls. Because for some reason, black families don't really put their little girls, or their boys for that matter, in gymnastics. Very interesting, because now you got the most decorated gymnast in the history of the world and the gyms.
I know
it's a black lady
in gymnastics. I used to do that as a kid. People do that.
Not really. No, not a lot.
What about ballet? I feel like ballet is a big.
Where in the hell is the black ballet studio at?
Oh,
I mean,
I used to go
black
all the
families,
time.
you're different.
No.
You are different.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just a city girl.
You are, like, you exemplify uppity, upper middle class black. Oh my God, Savanna!
Hold on.
You are so bougie. You're the travel. Tell them where you went for your birthday. You travel internationally when you get bored. You do things that I've never even done. I'm twice your age.
I drove. Does that make it better?
No, not at all.
No, I'm not bougie.
Oh, 100% you are. You're a member of a very hoity-toity sorority. You went to a historic and famed black college.
By the grace of God.
I don't know if a lot of folks know this, but some black colleges are as elitist or more elitist than Ivy League schools. But y'all pretend, no, I just went to a historically black college. Very elitist.
I won a scholarship. How about that? I didn't pay for it.
Don't matter.
Wow.
You gotta, like, the culture of those schools is uppity and elitist. Granted, Howard University graduates literally run for president. Like, they become extremely influential and powerful people. They're Fortune 500 CEOs, a whole bunch of stuff. But no, you're bougie. And so what you may have witnessed on your journey to bouginess is you might have seen black families in ballet and gymnastics and all this other stuff. The point I'm trying to make is it was a bunch of these little white girls at this little gymnastics gym. Like, I want to be like Simone Biles. I think that's beautiful. Until the little white girls start, like, putting weave in their hair and, like, you know what I'm saying, and going in blackface. But they are looking up to Simone Biles because she, as a black woman who's a decorated gymnast, is inspiring hope in everybody. And maybe Kamala can inspire hope as well. That's something that presidents can deliver instead of in lieu of policy. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jammin' with Juice each and every day on 101.7 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
101.7 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
Truth Nation, let us take a second to brag for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like President Joe Biden.
Black child poverty was cut in half in 2021. We built black wealth, 15 million jobs nationwide, more than 2.5 million for black Americans. Black wealth is up 60% since the pandemic.
Former President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
Guys, we almost had a former president and very likely future president assassinated on live TV. Like, you know what that would have done for this country? You know what that would have made our country look like? We would look like a banana republic.
And Brewers All-Star and former National League MVP Christian Yelich.
Listen, you already know.
Yeah, we got we were just in LA, so we heard our fair share of Kendrick out there in LA. Dodger Stadium has one of the best sound systems in baseball too.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app, listening live on 1017thetruth.com, and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Dreams of you are so fine, so fine. Since I woke up, so is my state of mind. Since we've been apart, baby, God has healed my heart. And darling, your love is just like music.
Welcome to Hour 2, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So I posted a link to that documentary. It's not a Tommy G documentary. Tommy G is in it. So there's a guy named Brandon Buckingham, who I guess is another famed YouTuber I'd never heard of. Brandon Buckingham comes to Milwaukee and is granted access via Tommy G. Tommy G is the guy who did the Kia Boys documentary, who's got pretty much carte blanche anywhere in the Central City, which is boggling of my mind. And so they film a day in the life of African-American youth and 20-somethings, and the music and the lingo and the dancing and their activities. And then 414 Big Frank, who is a local, I shouldn't call him, he's a Milwaukee artist. Don't want to say local, that makes it sound diminished. And he's also in the video as well. And they show footage of 414 Big Frank, who I only became familiar with fairly recently. Because even though I live in the city of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee hip-hop scene has never really fascinated me. It's just because my formation and foundation of my hip-hop understanding is rooted in a totally different time, a different century, a different style of music, et cetera, et cetera. And so this new stuff just, it kind of goes in one of my ears and out the other. I mean, I have a level of respect for it. You know, like I said yesterday, if I don't understand something, I'm not going to shame it. Either I try to understand it or I just admit, hey, this is not for me, and just go on about my business. So I was not very familiar with this 414 Big Frank guy, but they show footage of him going into a school, like an elementary school. These are young kids. And they show him walking into school, and he walks down the hallway, and the kids just, they scream, and they run, and they hug him. So this man, 414 Big Frank, has a tremendous amount of influence, which I suppose is good. But when I look at the rest of the culture of Black Milwaukee, I wonder what future it has in a city that wants to grow to 1 million people. I already see the sentiment against more affordable housing. I hear the animosity between lower income, less educated African Americans from middle income and higher educated African Americans. And per this New York Times article that came out some years ago and a bunch of census data, Black people in the city of Milwaukee of higher incomes are more likely to live in the exact same neighborhoods on the exact same streets as black people with lower income. And so that classism causes a conflict in and of itself. And I also had this curiosity about where is the wealthy black neighborhood? Where's the wealthy black community? Most metro areas over a certain size have one. They have arts, they have culture, they have entertainment, they have modern things. If Milwaukee has an arts and a cultural hub, maybe Bronzeville could be an example, but it's mostly rooted in history. Where is our new and upcoming 21st century Mecca to black culture? Where is it? I don't know if we have one here because we don't have a class of wealthy African Americans that are here in this city that are committed to giving back. Usually when you get money, people move. And a lot of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about because a bunch of y'all listening right now that are African American that are doing well for yourselves. You've looked at moving to Atlanta. Yeah, you have. You've looked at moving to Texas. Like half of the people that I grew up with that college and beyond, right? So master's degree, doctors, juris doctorates, etc., all left Milwaukee. About half. They took off. They couldn't. Or, when Savanna and I were talking about this, you might come from, I'm going to use 53206 as an example, because it's known, not because I necessarily want to single that zip code out. But you may have a black child that goes to a prestigious school. They did well in high school. They got accepted to college, and it was a prestigious college. Pick one. And they live that campus life and they network with other young people at that same college and that same university. And they're exposed to a totally different lifestyle than the one that they saw growing up in 53206 and going to mostly MPS schools. And so they go away to college. They finish their degree and they come back home, where a lot of people do. Some people stay in the cities in which they went to school. Some people take jobs all over the country. But a lot of folks, especially African Americans, you go away to college and you come back. When you come back from going to a prestigious college and you've walked away from Milwaukee altogether and you see a whole nother universe that exists outside of this city. That's why I encourage a lot of us to travel. I need to travel more too to expand my mind because Milwaukee will grow on you in the worst of ways. But you have somebody that grew up in 53206 and they've just been ingrained in, Milwaukee black culture in a segregated neighborhood. They get accepted to a prestigious college and university. They live that lifestyle. They come back to Milwaukee and they hate it. They hate their neighborhood. They hate their family because the conditions that they grew up in just they're not suitable anymore. And the last thing they want to do is start a business here, start a family here, or even buy a house here. There's animosity because they saw something so different. Savanna and I were talking about Washington, D.C. I can't survive in D.C. because I think that's how Milwaukee has grown on me the worst way. Considering what my career is, I should have been in D.C. 20 years by now. I actually applied for a job, was offered it, but couldn't take it. I couldn't do it. I don't know why I couldn't leave.
Why?
I had some reservations about the job. But that would have, so I shouldn't do this. But I thought to myself, because you ever rewind time, you're like, oh, if I would have taken this opportunity back then, where would I be now? Oh, I guarantee it was a fast track to the Obama White House. Had I taken that job in 2007 with an organization, a big political organization, but it was, culturally, it was not what I'm used to, but they offered me the job. I couldn't take it. I just couldn't because hindsight being 2020, I probably should have. Because it would have been a fast track to, who knows, I might be Kamala Harris's running mate right now had I taken that job. But I just couldn't do the D.C. lifestyle. So when I went out there when Tom Barrett was member of Congress, we would fly back and forth sometimes, and I got a taste of the D.C. lifestyle. Milwaukee it's so predictable here. Milwaukee moves slow. You know what's happening. You know what's coming. Like, what do we say every summer? Oh, it's going to be violent this summer. And that sucks. We don't like it. But at least we know it's coming, right? We know what's happening. Milwaukee does not change very, very quickly. And even when we try and institute change, that don't happen very quickly either. And there's something about the predictability of this slower paced Midwestern, upper Midwestern city that was such a contrast to D.C. Because the thing about D.C., nobody's from there. Very few people are from Washington, D.C., at least on Capitol Hill. And in Milwaukee, everybody's from here. Here in Mississippi, it's one or the other. It's just like a big old family here. So Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, it's predictable, it's familiar. We all know Southern black culture still has a heavy influence in the city of Milwaukee, but you go somewhere like D.C., and what you know about how to survive in an urban area like Milwaukee don't necessarily apply on Capitol Hill. So I was just thinking to myself, I couldn't live out here. Plus, it's damn expensive. I could not have purchased my home of similar square footage. Like a brownstone in D.C. with my square footage is $500,000 if it's a penny. And so that's how we lose a lot of our African-American talent. There's this thing called brain drain. You guys familiar with it? And it really hurts us. People may live in Wisconsin, anywhere in Wisconsin. I'm not even going to use Milwaukee as an example, but it really is exacerbated in black communities when we need people with money, with income to stay here and to invest here and to be philanthropists here because they know and understand the plight of the black community. And if you know it and understand it and you have money, you can invest in it in different ways instead of us always creating nonprofits and literally begging for grants just so we can maintain poverty. Very little gets people out of poverty in Milwaukee except an airplane. You have to leave here to get out of poverty, which is crazy because if you're poor, you can't leave. If you want to do better, you got to go somewhere else. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, one of the 10 worst places to raise a black child. One of the 10 best places to raise a white one. Go figure. So if you leave, statistically, no matter where you go in the United States, you might do better there than you will here statistically.
I will say, having from leaving Milwaukee, living in D.C., coming back home and like experiencing that transition, it's very hard. It is hard to kind of just figure out your place again, especially if you don't necessarily have the friends that you used to have and things like that. But I think that's just being a young adult, period. But like, it can be depressing. I know one of my Howard friends, she just came back and I can just feel her energy. She's just like, yeah, I'm here. Like she's doing a bid, like, yeah, I'm here for a little while. That's how I'm feeling, like, girl, welcome to the club. We finna do whatever. But like you said, I don't really see myself getting like a home here or anything like that. I guess my family home is something I would consider. But other than that, like, I definitely want to have a home somewhere else or like call somewhere else home for a little while because I don't know. It's a different vibe, especially when you get used to it. But even when I was in college, it was a culture shock. I was telling you that during the break. Like, it's a culture shock of seeing how things are in D.C. and just a conglomerate of people that come to Howard in general and really getting that black experience because it's different. It's different.
Howard's influence is felt culturally and socially in D.C., where we've got colleges and universities here. African-American students obviously attend at much lower rates. But the influence of those colleges and universities that we have here in Milwaukee are not really evident in the black neighborhoods and the black community. Case in point. And D.C. is probably a very weird example because it's a cross-section of so many things. It's also the seat of American government and lobbyists and consultants. It's so much money out there. You don't even got to live in D.C. You can live in like Anacostia. You can live somewhere in Virginia and just be close enough to where the money and where the opportunity is. But like you can go out to D.C. and go to like a whole black neighborhood where everybody is middle class with money driving Bentleys. You don't have that here. My cousin, case in point, the Harvard graduate who I always rave about because his accomplishment was a monumental feat for our family, lives in a gated community in Memphis, Tennessee, okay? And we don't have gated communities here, which it's a matter of time. I guarantee you, though. So a couple things are going to happen. They're going to put boots on cars because there's been several common councils that were always against boots on cars for parking infractions because we know it would disproportionately impact the black community. So boots are going to be a thing. They put boots on y'all's cars when you got a whole bunch of unpaid tickets. Or they're going to put a boot on your car when you don't put a license plate on. That's absolutely going to come. And gated communities are going to come. But the gated community that my cousin lives in, you would think, and he's black, obviously, is to keep black people out. No, he lives in a gated community to keep white people out. Poor whites. Craziest thing ever, right?
What?
But in the South, it's different. Like Atlanta. Atlanta is a black mecca. You've got mansions like Tyler Perry in them. Like there's millionaires, like neighborhoods, whole suburbs of black millionaires in Atlanta. We don't have that at all. And so the influence of having black folks with money staying and living and bedding down in your metro area lifts a lot of black boats. So we have a lot of white money here, tons of it. But we have white money here that's just, it's either old money and it's just like anonymous. Most wealthy black people, and I hate to have to admit this, most wealthy black people in the city of Milwaukee, we know their names. We know their names, their stories, we know their families, because those are the ones we have to hit up for political campaign contributions for black candidates. We know them. Wealthy white people just have houses on Lake Drive. You have no idea what they are, like who they are, or what they even do. If it's a black family that has a house on Lake Drive, they're probably like a Daniels. You know what I mean? Like we know who they are. And that's missing here. And the brain drain hurts us because people that even if they do go to college here, they don't want to stay. They want to go somewhere else where they can have more opportunity. It also has its impact on the dating life. So if you are, I know it absolutely does. And we have a lot of conflict when it comes to dating. So if you have an education, you got a good, successful career, you're not settling for anything less than that. And that's a curse of having a higher degree of education. You ain't dating a GED. You can't. You might have sex with a GED, but you ain't gonna marry it because GEDs, they're good at sex. They gotta be good at something. And they know. I hate to admit that. And Savanna in there cracking up. Ain't that right? The less education and the more felonies, the better lover they technically are. Fantastic in the sack. They'll be driving your car around during the day. They'll be running up things on your credit card. But, you know. Let's talk to Al, shall we? Hello, Al. How are you?
I'm doing good. You bring up a lot of great points, but here in Milwaukee, a lot of the poverty is due to neglect that's done purposely. Now, I know we have our issues as black people that we got to, that we have to take care of, but a lot of the neglect is purposely done. Prime example, they're not going to do nothing until the inner city, until the whites move in. And black people in certain positions move when you have white people. Prime example, you have Crowley trying to propose that $8.5 million, thing to deal with opioids. Opioids ain't never been black people issue. That was with the whites. Okay, we got the reckless driving that's out of control. Of course, we know Cavalier Johnson said he got to figure it out. Okay, that's going to take 365 days, but only 24 hours for a pay increase. Now, let's look at some of the things that goes on, like prime example, these building inspectors, they're blind as hell. They're probably going to Wisconsin Vision because in the late 90s and early 20s, if your paint was bad on your house, you was getting cited. If your grass was too long, you was getting cited. Now, don't nobody see anything. Let's now also look at some of these aldermen that sees things that's going on in the inner city, especially in their district. And, of course, they don't give a damn because, hey, I don't care anyway because my focus is near the whites. So a lot of the stuff that's going on in the inner city with poverty is being looked past purposely because they don't give a damn. So I needed to share that. Look at the bump out. Now, if you go on 24th and Locust, where they just shot that thing there, you think they'll do that over there on Maryland and Newberry with the whites? They're not going to tolerate it. Even the Journal Sentinel talked about how there is no plan for the inner city. When you look at Malele, she's only on TV when it comes to that damn Bronzeville that's down there near the whites. But when it comes to the place in the inner city, she don't got sugar, honey, iced tea to say. It's all due to neglect. Poverty deals with neglect. And I want to share this with you. It does not take money to have pride. It doesn't. And see, here's the thing. They have this thing so built up that you have to have money to have pride. When you have pride, you would think You'll think higher yourself. But when you lack pride, then the destruction will come. And when you have people who look like you, who don't take pride in places they overlook, and look, they not Jesus neither. What does it say? But let them white people move in. You got on your Sunday best. You showing every tooth in your mouth. You got all these plans. Prime example, I was in Heartland. I've been out to Nacogwicca Lake, Delafield, Bayside. I said, what are y'all saying? How y'all feel about that reckless driving? You know what some of them cops told me? He said, I wish they would try it over here. We don't got time for that. We ain't going to tolerate it. We respect a certain standard. Cavalier Johnson, well, we got to figure out how to come up with somehow how we can fix it. Oh, okay. Well, what about the bump outs? Well, we felt this was going to do something. Well, why would you just throw that over there on 24th and Locust? That's been like that for a year. Or look at, who's the guy over there on that guy over the 18th, I think 18th and Hadley? There's a house that's been sitting there like that with a blue top on the windows open. Stanford. You think he can do that in Whitefish Bay? You think that the grass could be tall as the house in Whitefish Bay? Absolutely not. The neglect is done purposely, and it's because it's blacks. Because we all know blacks move real quick when them whites come, and don't let them blacks have to work under whites. Woo! They on it like stank on sugar, honey, iced tea. Okay, I gotta go. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Al. Boy, I sure would like to be able to refute a lot of that. So you can't compare reckless driving in a densely populated, very crowded, congested urban area to a rural area like some of the places he was referencing. And yes, there's people out there driving fast in the rural areas too, but because it's so sparsely populated, it just doesn't have the impact that it does here. The opioid crisis, I used to say that too, like, oh, that's a white person's problem. Why are you investing so much of our tax money in that? Black people need, specific resources and specific investments. Why are you taking our tax money and putting it into the opioids? No, it's killing us too. The death rate among black Americans increased by 44%, the greatest increase among all racial and ethnic groups when it comes to opioids. It's in our music. We just don't pay attention to it. They had a song called Molly and the Percocets. I remember going to a nightclub. Guy was in the bathroom selling Percocets. He was like, hi. He was very friendly. Very good salesman. He wasn't pushy because, drug dealers are called pushers. He wasn't pushing. He was like, hello, everyone. Good evening. Just wondering if anybody would like any party favors. I've got many different milligrams. I'm like, oh, that's very nice. I'm not interested, but your sales pitch is fantastic. He's like, oh, thank you, sir. He's well-dressed. Black guy, too. All right, I got to take a break, right? Savanna, what are you pointing at? Do you want me to pay attention to something that I'm not? Oh, the time. Okay. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We're going to figure out all of the things that we need to figure out before this show's over. I want everything figured out about Black Milwaukee and the culture and the youth culture and the low test scores and how that leads to additional poverty and a lack of investment. We got to get that figured out before I start my weekend, okay? So we got an hour and a half, so let's get it together. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana. Cartegena, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Truth Nation joined the United Negro College Fund as they host their 40th annual Milwaukee Walk for Education at Veterans Park on Saturday, August 10th. The event raises funds to support scholarships for students at historically black colleges and universities across the country, and 2024 marks the 80th anniversary where they have raised over $5 billion and supported over 500,000 students. Join the UNCF Walk for Education on Saturday, August 10th at Veterans Park starting at 8 a.m. by visiting uncf.org/events to register today.
At Community Life Skills Center and Counseling Services, they believe everyone deserves access to support, regardless of insurance status. Whether you're seeking guidance in spiritual matters, battling substance abuse, or overcoming trauma, they offer a safe space to heal. From family counseling to navigating grief, domestic violence to fostering healthy relationships, their diverse services cater to your needs. But they're more than just counselors. They're educators too. So reach out to them at 414-226-5604. Your breakthrough is just around the corner.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Call it how it is. Hendrix. I promise you, swear. Everybody. Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, represent, gotta represent, chase a chick.
Wait a second, we shouldn't be glorifying this, but that beat is fantastic.
You go crazy.
I know it does, but that's not good because we're dying from overdoses too. In addressing some of Al's points, there's no real simple answer. You can't look at the worst neighborhood conditions in Milwaukee and compare them to the wealthiest suburbs. You cannot. They are apples and oranges. The cost of the houses, the amount of property taxes that people pay. Let me tell you something. If you pay $50,000 or $60,000 a year in property taxes, your demands are heard differently because your demands speak through the money that you are investing in your municipality. Number one. Number two, voter turnout in local elections and everything from school board to county supervisor probably outpaces that in Central City of Milwaukee by a factor of 5. So there's that. You can't compare the two. Especially the wealthiest suburbs, like they were built on the culture of money. We have like a lot of abandoned buildings and, dwellings. Al was referencing one specifically, I think, on 18th and Hadley in Russell Stamper's district. We don't have a tax base, y'all. We do not have enough money. Some of that is shared revenue, which is the Republicans controlling how much money Milwaukee gets back to remedy some of those things that Al and others have referenced, those eyesores. And if we do get additional money back to the city of Milwaukee, elected officials give themselves raises, and they all do it. But then you have to deal with a plaguing problem, a new problem that seemed like it sprang up, or it got really, really bad in the last 4 or 5 years, which is reckless driving. And I know the bump outs are ugly. They weren't my favorite thing to combat reckless driving, but I don't think y'all understand and appreciate how upset the public is at reckless driving. It was relentless how mad voters and constituents and neighbors were at the idea of all of this reckless driving. Something had to be done.
We couldn't say, well, let's not do anything because, traffic calming measures are ugly and unsightly. They are ugly, they are unsightly, and they're going to need a tremendous amount of maintenance because all that concrete going to crack. We got a freeze and thaw cycle in Wisconsin. They're going to crack, they're going to crumble. It's going to be big old chunks of concrete that's hanging out in the street from the bump outs if they're not maintained properly. So whatever money we may have used to, get rid of blighted buildings or give homeowners grants so they can fix up their properties had to go solve the reckless driving problem, and I would argue it's not solved. There was a three-pronged approach to it. It was 3 E's. It was enforcement. We wanted more police to enforce traffic laws. There was engineering, which is you re-engineer traffic. You take 2 lanes, you make it 1 lane, you put the bump outs and you put the things and you put the roundabouts and you got all of the things to make the people slow down and all of the things. And the other part was education. You got to put the driver's education back so the people know how to drive. So we had to do something, and it probably cost millions and millions of dollars, and it's going to continue to cost millions and millions of dollars. So money that we would rather see allocated somewhere else in the city of Milwaukee, it can't, because we got to, at some point, it's the Republicans' fault because they know that Milwaukee is a city in need. We have a lot of people here, right? Just our infrastructure. We have more people driving on the streets. We have more wear and tear. Our snow plows that we have here, that are plowing the roads, the hundreds of miles of roads and thoroughfares we have in Milwaukee, there's just more wear and tear. We got more potholes here. So the money that is made in the city of Milwaukee, I'll even go Milwaukee County, the property taxes and all of the people that are consumers here, whether it be residents or whether it be tourists, all that money goes to Madison. Madison creates the state budget, but the state legislature, which is responsible for creating the state budget, is ruled by Republicans. Do you think that they're going to give money to Milwaukee, a Democratic voting stronghold, all the money that we need to be successful? No, because what will happen is Milwaukee will become an even more attractive city. And when people come here, they're much more likely, people that live in cities are much more likely to be Democrats. So the Republicans are playing the long game with us, and it's working brilliantly because we look outside and we see death, despair, misery, more bump outs, burned out, bombed out buildings that should have been torn down, and we literally don't have the money to remove them. So what do? We focus our anger on our black elected officials, like it's their fault. The Republicans are way upstream looking down and laughing at us. They are not going to help us. Now, the good news is district maps have been redrawn, and there is a possibility that Democrats can get control of the Wisconsin state legislature. When I say things will change, just look at the things that change with a liberal-leaning Wisconsin state Supreme Court, how they protected abortion rights. They're looking at reversing Act 10. If we can get a Democratic majority in the Wisconsin state legislature, because Democrats, even outstate Democrats, realize that Milwaukee is a superpower. And there's so much revenue that is generated for the entire state. If you let Milwaukee have all the resources that it needs to become successful, then we can start better investing in some of the things that are giving us problems. And a Kamala Harris will help as well. As long as we got us a Democratic governor, and we get a Democratic president in the White House, money will flow to this state. Now, remember, there's going to be 2 referendums on your August 13th ballot. Some of you that voted early saw the referendums already, and maybe you're hearing commercials or seeing the commercials on the television. You got to vote no on those, because that same Republican legislature that is starving us of our money wants to now take away the Democratic governor's ability to allocate money to Milwaukee. I need to get Kalen Haywood in here. Kalen Haywood II, he's the vice chair. I got to get his title right. He's a member of the Wisconsin State Assembly, the 16th District, but he's also the assistant minority leader of the Wisconsin Assembly Democrats. He'll tell you much better than I can of the fighting they have to do with Republicans to get the resources that Milwaukee needs. He's very optimistic that the Democrats are going to get the majority. Things will change dramatically. But that's smart politics. Make the people, it's bad policy, but it's smart politics. And now we live in a world where politics upstages and outperforms actual policy. Policy is you take care of everybody. You make sure everybody is good. You do what you can to make sure everybody's getting a piece of the pie. All the neighborhoods are livable. Everybody is safe. You take care of the blight. You pave the roads. You have the lead water pipes removed. But Republicans don't have any interest in that. They want to punish places that do not vote the way they want them to vote. It was a really weird town. It's near Green Bay, a real small town. And so we got a shared revenue increase across the board fairly recently. Milwaukee didn't get enough. I think we get a 10% bump in shared revenue. Somebody knows it. 10%, 20%. Either way, it wasn't enough. But there was a town, like a smaller town. It's near Green Bay. It's a Republican town. They voted for the Republican candidate for governor, which was Tim Michels. They voted for, in the most recent state Supreme Court race, they voted for the conservative candidate. I think it was Dan Kelly. I might be forgetting the right person's name. But they got a 1,000% increase in shared revenue, and I think Milwaukee only got 10. You see how that works? So when the Republicans are in control, they're going to give more state tax dollars, more state budget money to communities and counties that are Republican voting. That's good politics. It's bad policy. And Milwaukee, which if you talk to a state legislator, a Democratic state legislator, Republicans hate Milwaukee, hate it, because we're the DEI city. But because we have so many amenities here, like this is where the tourists come. This is where the attractions are. Hell, this is where they had their convention, quite honestly. But we're the DEI city. But here's the thing, the DEI city, if you give it the resources that it needs, will outperform some of the status quo cities, right? Like our DEI gymnasts that won medals at the Olympics, like 101.7 The Truth apparently is the DEI radio station. Well, we are. How are we not? But we're performing very well to be the affirmative action radio station. Savanna, is Linda coming up here?
I believe so. She will call back, but we did have a call, and Brian asked, why was he blocked? And I told him the answer. But he's gone now.
All right.
But I say he can still call in.
I'm not necessarily going to take his call. I don't have time for that. I just personally don't. There's so many other places that people can go. Like, there's a whole internet to espouse your views. It's just not here. Can't do it here. All right, take me to break, Savanna. I need to know why Linda's coming up. And you've been on the phone with Linda. Is y'all plotting something? What is y'all planning? Linda, if you can hear me, and I know you can, you need to tell me what y'all got going on. She ain't trying to come on my show, is she? She ain't trying to come in the studio, is she? Okay, well, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Cousin Subs features only the finest Wisconsin-made cheeses and dairy on their menu in support of the dairy farmers of Wisconsin. And now, the time has come for even more cheese as Cousins is happy to introduce their new Cheddar Supreme Cheese Sauce. Order this cheesy treat on their new cheese fries or add cheese sauce to your favorite sub. More cheese? Yes, please. Order today at any location, online or via Cousins mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Attention, Milwaukee County. When it comes to stroke, every second counts. Remember to be fast. B-E-F-A-S-T.
B, balance. Are you having trouble with coordination or balance? E, eyes. Sudden blurred or double vision. Have you lost sight in one eye or both? F, face drooping. Is your smile lopsided or your face numb or drooping? A, arm weakness. Are you having difficulty reaching for things? Does your arm drift downward when placed in front of you? S, speech difficulty. Is it difficult to speak? Try saying, the sky is blue. Does that come out correctly? T, terrible headache. Are you having pain in your head? Experiencing more than one of these symptoms? Time to call 911.
Remember, recognizing these signs and acting fast can save a life. If you or someone you know experiences these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. This message is brought to you by the Milwaukee County Office of Emergency Management. Stay informed, stay safe.
One smile is great,
But one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
LT, I think you're proving my point that he says not all black middle-class people are comfortable being surrounded by white people. Never. Because income, I think when black folks, and I'm generalizing a little bit, when we have the same or more income, education, status, material possessions as our Caucasian counterparts, we feel entitled to their space and will justify it by saying, I got money. I can go wherever I want to. I got a house. I got a car. I got a 401k, 403b, bunch of stocks in the mutual funds and the investments in the Vanguards and the T. Rowe Price and the Fidelity fiduciaries. I can be out here too. Not that easy. Not quite. Or here's something else that manifests itself, and I'm not a nightclub person. I don't even know if there's even still nightclubs. Well, there kind of are. Nightclubs are not, they suck now. They're not what they used to be. And maybe I sound old, but there used to be actual places to dance, like dance floors, and what nightclub owners have done is they have turned dance floor areas where people can like socialize and flirt and mingle into VIP booths because they can charge quadruple the prices. That's disgusting to me.
They don't call them clubs, they call them lounges.
Exactly, yeah. But they used to be like communal experience. We're all dancing to the music and bumping into people on purpose and all that other stuff.
I hate it.
I'm sure you do. But things were different back then because there was no social media, and also people were less afraid of interacting in person than they are now. I didn't talk about it because it probably would have embarrassed a bunch of y'all. Like the younger generation, like they don't know how to shake hands. They don't make eye contact. They go to job interviews and they bring their parents. Like seriously, it's horrible. Like what the internet has done to like in-person communication is like people get real bold online. They say all sorts of stuff, but then you see that same person in public, they won't even look you in your eye. Before we had the internet, the only way you met people was in person. You actually had to go and approach human beings. This is also back in the day where if somebody rang your doorbell, you answered it. You didn't even say, who is it? Now let my doorbell ring. I'm checking the cameras. I'm grabbing my pistol. I'm getting my shotgun. I'm loading it up. A package for Sherwin. Sherwin, it's your DoorDash. Oh, all right. Sorry. Didn't mean to point my shotgun at your nose.
We act like people can't knock on the door no more. It's actually really crazy.
You are 100% correct. Somebody knocks on my door, it is either the police, the ops, or someone coming to kill me. I hear somebody knock on my door. Who the hell? How dare you want to request an audience with me, stranger? And I check my phone. If I miss no calls and miss no text messages, there's an enemy at my door. And I hate that I feel that way because back 30 years ago, somebody knocked at the door. Oh, I wonder who's here. Let's go see. Let's go look at. Oh, hi. Who are you, stranger? Just let them in. Hi, come on in and sit down. No, the person you're looking for is not here. I'm going to go to work, but you can just lay on the couch until they arrive. All right, I'll see you later. We were way more trusting. We're all very skeptical. There's a term for it. It's called xenophobia, We're afraid of strangers. That's why this whole thing is working so well for the Republicans. Oh, the people from the border. That's strangers. We're just afraid of strangers. And if you can make the strangers seem like an even bigger threat, like they're going to come here and they're going to kill you and take your job. They're the Mexican border jumpers. First, they're going to kill you. Then they're going to take your car and go to work with your job because they killed you. We're a very xenophobic society. We're afraid of everything. We're afraid of our own damn shadows. It's awful. It's not like it used to be. The example would be with the dance clubs and just nightclubs in general. When black people have arrived socially, economically, right? They have money, they got an education, they got a little bit of status. And maybe you're the first generation in your family to get a little bit of status. And you want to go out for a night on the town. And because I don't really interact at these places anymore, places used to have dress codes where the dress codes were culturally specific. Because, black people, black men, our fashion tends to be a little different. Okay, what we wear. Because we're influenced by different cultural forces, you see. And so you'll have a dress code where no Timberland boots, right? No oversized jeans, saggy pants. For a while, it was no white T-shirts, all this other stuff. The no Timberland boots thing, that used to get me because I love Timbers. I wear Timbs. I get a fresh pair of Timbs every season. Got to get you some new Timbs, you see. And so we go to clubs or whatever. Oh, sorry, can't let you guys in. It'd be the middle of wintertime. We're walking through snow, and we got Timberlands on because Timberlands are a nice boot. I like a Timberland. My favorite color in a Timberland is nubuck. Very hard to keep clean. That's the traditional color of the Timberland, but I got black ones, though, because they're easier to keep clean. And they'll say, hey, yeah, you can't come in because you're wearing Timberland boots. And there's always that one guy in our group. I don't argue with the dress code because you're not going to win. You're not going to win when you argue with the dress code because they are literally, those bouncers are employed to keep you out specifically. Now, I've seen exceptions, but for the most part, arguing a dress code, don't do it. Go spend your money somewhere else. But there's always somebody saying, well, I got more money than anybody in here. You can't discriminate against me because I'm wearing Timberland boots. I got money. They don't care. They don't care how much money you have. They don't care how much status you have. They don't want black people in their establishment. And sometimes we feel entitled. There have been a number of incidents. It's been a while since we've had one. We're probably due. Where a bar or a restaurant, like an owner, a manager, an employee of a bar or a restaurant that black people usually don't frequent, but we find really weird places as black folks. We'll find odd places and just make them culturally ours, like Carson's. And like,
I love Carson's.
I know you do. Or even Elsa's. 20 years ago, we were not at all going to Elsa's. Now they shoot in Elsa's. However, I digress. So what'll happen is a business or a restaurant that had been catering to white people for like 90 years, all of a sudden black people, we discover it, we find it, and we go in droves. We have our birthday parties there. We have our Friday nights there, whatever it is, you fill in the blank with whatever establishment it is. Someplace that did not cater to black folks we didn't go to 30 years ago, we flock to it right now. Water Street's another example. Black folks didn't used to go to Water Street. Now it's a black mecca.
I love it.
I bet you do, Savanna.
What is it supposed to mean?
Let me get to my point. I got to take a break and talk to Rob at some point. Rob's on the phone. We'll flock to the place, right? A whole bunch of black people. And you know us, when we go out, we want everybody to know we having a good time. And somebody at that business, that bar, that restaurant that black people didn't frequent years before, now we've made it a cultural home. And they'll say something racist, really racist, because they're frustrated. And I've heard this more times than I even care to admit to y'all. A lot of times when we go to restaurants, there's a culture that exists in those restaurants, but we bring our culture instead of respecting the culture of the place that we're going. And we get in trouble for that. Like there was a black girl that went over, where'd she go to? Not Abu Dhabi. What's the other one? Dubai. And was just living her best life and just being a black woman and speaking the way she speaks and doing what she was doing. I think they arrested her and she was just being herself. So you got to respect the culture of where you're going, but we don't oftentimes do that. We bring our culture to that place, right? So somebody will say something racist at this establishment that didn't ever cater or advertise or market to black people. And then a lot of black folks say, oh, we're never going there again because this place is racist. But then you always have that group of black folks that say, no, I'm still going to go even though the management and ownership is racist. I'm going to prove that I'm a good black person and I got culture and class and manners. And yeah, they did call a black patron the N-word. Maybe they were an N-word, but I'm still going to go. And take a break. Come back. Talk to Rob. We got an hour and some change left to figure out this city's problems. I hope y'all get it together. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Southside Serious.
Southside, this is 1017 The Truth, and you are our Gruber 5K giveaway.
Oh, man, I can't believe it, man. You guys are so great, man. You're doing so much for the community. I really, really appreciate you guys.
What would you do with $5,000?
I got two boys. I got an 18-year-old. I got a 15-year-old, and, man, I'm gonna give it to them.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I'm State Representative Lakeisha Myers. I may be small in stature, but I'm big on getting things done. And that's why I'm running for the full 4-year term for the 4th Senate District on August 13th. From introducing a bill to combat reckless driving to helping address issues in the Milwaukee public school system, I do the work. Successfully passing a number of bills in my 3 terms in office, I have been a strong voice in the state capitol for the people in my district. I'm not afraid to fight for what we need, and I won't stop until I get it done. To learn more about my record, please visit www.myersforsenate.com or 414-436-8910. Get on up and vote for Lakeisha Myers on August 13th for State Senate District 4.
Authorized and paid for by friends of Lakeisha Myers, Gertha Myers, Treasurer.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Connie's Compassionate Care is a Wisconsin Medicaid Badger Care Plus benefit program designed to help pregnant women retain the support and services needed to have a healthy baby. From medical appointments, transportation, and health education support. So, if you or anyone you know can benefit from our agency, call 414-550-7521 to speak with Lasagna. Connie's Compassionate Care has got you covered.
Truth Nation, it is Ben Jammin from Jammin' with Juice, and I want you to join me and my Truth team at our free and open to the public 2nd annual Truth Family Fest Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School. There will be live music, free haircuts for kids, free backpacks filled with school supplies, and delicious food. We can't wait to see you on Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Truth Family Fest is presented by Associated Bank. Your money works here.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I didn't mean to offend anybody, not really a city girl. Not really a city girl says, wow, at least people with a GED didn't drop out or cheat their way through high school. Well, yeah, a lot of them did drop out. And why not cheat your way through high school? Get the diploma. Seriously, get it any way you can. Because if you don't get it, you kind of slow stuff down a little bit. We all cheated in high school. Oh, come on. Kyle, did you cheat in high school? Of course, you didn't? He said he did. Well, I know you
didn't cheat.
Hell, I did. We all cheated.
No, I didn't.
Let me tell you something. If I got a science test 3rd hour, and my homie, my teammate, had the science test 1st hour, he gonna give me the answers.
Okay,
come
fine.
on.
Yes, I did cheat. I had my phone, and for physics specifically, hard.
high school taught me. So high school for me, I didn't learn a lot. It was more social, like how to interact with different people, how to resolve conflict, but also how to get over, how to find advantages. You know what I mean? Like how to make a way out of no way. Let's talk to Rob. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sharon. How are you?
Doing okay. It sounds like from the comments I have here, draining spirits in Milwaukee. Is your spirit drained?
No, my spirit is uplifted. I've got some positive things going on, but I've been listening, and I want to say that you are correct, that Milwaukee does have somewhat of a draining spirit. And the reason why a lot of people with higher education after high school, like bachelor's and master's degrees specifically, decide to leave here is because they can go somewhere else. And they are surrounded, blacks in particular, they're surrounded by other individualistic ideas that like-minded like them. Milwaukee has this kind of idea that if you don't think like everyone else, you're ostracized. Since I got my master's degree, I'm not the same person that I was 30 years ago. I think differently. I act differently. I have different agendas. And I have a whole totally different aspect on life. And I've traveled many areas, internationally and nationally. A lot of people here haven't had that luxury, so they think differently. And they stuck in the same places they were 30 years ago, not achieved nothing, and they're doing the same thing. So when you bring something new, you feel you can't even go around them because you don't fit in. That, for me, anyway. That's
crabs in a barrel. There's a phenomenon. There's a saying, right. Crabs in a barrel, yeah.
So with that being said, I like to, if you want to take me off air or I can say it in there, I like to invite you and Savanna out to me and my business partner. We're having a relaunch gala for our business, and it's going to be professional people there, all different professions. Come out and have a good time.
Where is it going to be at?
Freight 38, 838 South 1st Street.
When is it?
September 15th, 3 to 8 p.m.
Go have food?
It's going to be food and beverages, alcohol beverages, yes.
What kind of business?
It's a swimwear line, alcohol line. We have an alcohol beverage coming out that's going to be available for purchase.
You got you got an alcohol beverage. What kind of alcohol is it?
Well, I'm not going to say that. You have to come to find out.
You need to tell me what alcohol is before I come, man. What is tequila? Don't be a tequila man. Are you a tequila dude? What kind of alcohol it is? It's tequila. I can tell. I can smell it on your breath over the phone.
It's a tequila vodka mixer.
Wait a minute. It's tequila and vodka?
With a mixture, yes. It's a very good spirit. You can't judge it before you try it. There's going to be
so hang on, wait. So is it okay? It's tequila. So the alcohols it's tequila and vodka, and is there something else mixed in with it? So it's like a ready to pour drink?
Ready to pour drink. The alcohol content isn't too high, so you won't get too drunk, but if you drink enough of it, you'll get drunk. But it's a very good spirit. You got to come try it.
Well, here's what you're going to do. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you, but here's what you're going to do since you launched your new spirit. Where is it going to be available? If people want to buy it, where can they get it from?
Well, we're working on a distributor. Once I take it to the distributor, they're going to get it at the liquor store. They're going to market it and put it in the liquor stores.
All right, so here's what you're going to do, and I appreciate your call, and Savanna and I will consider going to your event, but you will advertise your liquor on 101.7 The Truth. You got to support Black radio. Yeah. You call every damn day, so you're going to run some ads then. You're going to advertise.
I already called and talked to Dr. Ken. He gave me Danielle's number. She's supposed to be calling me.
All right, good. Thank you for sharing that with us, and maybe I'm going to leave it up to Savanna. If Savanna wants to go, I'll go. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate the invitation. You heard that, Savanna?
Even what to me?
First of all, how is you going to have vodka and tequila in the same bottle and say, oh, it's not that much alcohol in it? That's two.
That's lit.
That's two alcohol.
I like that.
How do you mix? Tequila and vodka are not friends.
Yes,
they don't get along. Hell
yes,
no.
They do.
No.
Maybe not for you.
One of them wants sex. The other one wants violence.
What?
So, yeah. Tequila is violent.
Tequila is fun. Tequila is happy girl juice.
Tequila.
Now that dark.
Okay.
That's what you need.
Vodka is the lover drink. No. Vodka is like, hi.
Tequila's like, yeah, let's have fun. Girl, you're so cute. We're all fun in the bathroom.
Okay, well, you got to answer the phone, and I got to take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back for hour 3.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks.
straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
Truth Nation, let us take a second to brag for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like President Joe Biden.
Black child poverty was cut in half in 2021. We built black wealth, 15 million jobs nationwide, more than 2.5 million for Black Americans. Black wealth is up 60% since the pandemic.
Former President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump.
Guys, we almost had a former president and very likely future president assassinated on live TV. Like, you know what that would have done for this country? You know what that would have made our country look like? We would look like a banana republic.
And Brewers All-Star and former National League MVP Christian Yelich.
Listen, you already know.
Yeah, we got we were just in LA, so we heard our fair share of Kendrick out there in LA. Dodger Stadium has one of the best sound systems in baseball too.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app, listening live on 1017thetruth.com, and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm reading some of these. I'm catching up on YouTube comments, and the conversation about the GED is rubbing some people the wrong way. I got to go back to Katie's comment. Katie said, Mr. Hughes said people with GEDs are good in bed. I was saying I don't have a GED, but I'm great in bed. Not trying to shame anyone, just trying to be funny. Sorry. I was being sarcastic. Y'all got to stop taking something like that seriously. I'm just saying, doesn't it, ladies, I know you can relate. Let me put it in different terms. Isn't the man that has the least going for him the hottest, the sexiest, and like the most like alluring? That's what I'm trying to say. But it's the dude that's not sensual and romantic is the protector and the provider with the money and the security and like all the things you want in like a long-term partner, but there'll be, the fire is missing. Like the thug. You know how many like corporate, highly educated, wealthy black women are secretly seeing a thug that's literally, he just got out of jail and is on his way back. And she's all she loved, that thug. Love him. She don't bring him around the family. She's even lying to her friends about that's what I'm trying to say. So I was doing like a generalization. You can relate, I'm sure. With men, it's different. We care less I shouldn't say we don't care at all, but we care less about a woman's status because as a man, a lot of us expect women to have lesser status than us anyway. We just expect it. Some women have way higher status. I personally think that's fantastic. But there's some men that just expect the woman to work less and have less money because that means his status is now elevated in her eyes. So if a woman works at McDonald's, she's cute enough. We do not care. Some of y'all, especially if you want more and better, you see a guy, he can be very handsome. But if he's working the fries at your neighborhood McDonald's, you may never give him your phone number just because, But here's what happens a lot of times. You might ignore that guy that's on fries today. You come back a couple years later, he's the regional manager of every McDonald's in the damn Midwest, driving a Bentley and has a corporate McDonald's airplane. See, y'all be sleeping on brothers sometimes. Like, you got to see a man for his potential.
Yes, you do, but at the same time, like if you was corny then, 9 times out of 10, you was corny now. And for the ladies out there, all the guys that are still in your DMs and you've never given them the time of day, I'm telling you now, don't give them the time of day. Still, stand on business because as soon as you give them the chance, the one that's been in there for years, those are the ones that's going to mess you up.
That sounds personal, Savannah.
No, it's the truth. It's not just, I promise you it's not personal. This is a universal thing. It's true.
Okay. Then I don't know how y'all gonna meet people, because you make it damn near impossible for us to approach y'all. Because I can't risk being called a creep. Like back in the day, women were expected to be approached, and if a man didn't approach them, they had a bad night. How could anybody talk to me? Now y'all don't even want to be bothered. You just hang out like roving packs of lesbians.
What?
You don't even want men to talk to you.
No, that's not true. Now, what happened to the compliment situation we was talking about, all the compliments? Sometimes women don't want to be complimented all the time.
Okay, fair enough. I don't compliment. If I'm complimenting
a woman.
Don't.
You boring. You are so
See, Savannah, you got to stop this mess because you'll have a fit if men compliment you too much, but then if you don't get a compliment, you get mad that they ain't saying nothing.
No, it's a healthy balance. You do have to be attractive, though. So look at yourself in the mirror, be the man in the mirror before you sit up here and try to talk to certain women. This is the truth. You know yourself.
Don't be fooled by attractiveness because it is a double-edged sword. It is also smoke and mirrors because some of the most attractive people only have how they look. Some of the people that may never get your attention with how they look have the most dynamic and stellar personalities because they kind of have to have a good personality if you ain't beautiful.
At the same time, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, you can't do everything and expect, oh, well, if you do this, then a woman will get you. No, she has to actually like you. Like, she has to actually look at you and be like, okay, I would actually talk to you or whatever. Whether you had a conversation, it was a personality that she liked or, you know, your vibe or that she thinks you're cute. But she has to actually like you for people to do certain things that they do.
Yeah, fair enough. Women also have an advantage. Several. Well, they got a bunch of disadvantages, too. Like, I don't know, being in America, it's not really good for y'all right now. But a woman does not have to, well, she doesn't have to do anything, but she doesn't have to identify a man early on in life. And he may not be doing well. He might be down on his luck. He might be between jobs. She doesn't have to like identify his potential and then like stick with him. She doesn't have to. Some women do. A lot of women can just wait at the finish line. When I say wait at the finish line, you pick from men who are already incredibly successful instead of being with one man and working with him and, you know, being right there, being his rock while he's achieving his success. Some of y'all, you go on and get your success, and then you want a man that's already gone through the gauntlet and trials and tribulations of being successful, right? So you wait at the finish line, but here's the problem. When men arrive at the finish line, and let's say he's first place, only one man finishes first, right? That's the guy that's top of the scale. He's handsome. He's got money. He's successful. He's got status. He's got reputation. He's got all that. You can see a future with this guy. Protector, provider, all of that, okay? It's a whole bunch of women at the finish line. Why does he pick just you?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you have your top 5, you're not going to always, or at least for me, I'm not going to always go for the number 1.
That's true.
Maybe I don't want the number 1 because there's so many other women who want the number 1. And I let them have it.
And you don't want to compete with them because that's exactly what happens. Because women will throw themselves at top dog alpha males that have all of the boxes checked.
Yes, but for me personally, it is a turnoff to see a guy that has a whole bunch of, it's not their fault either. It's just like, no, I'm cool on you. Like, you already got whatever. But I can do the top 5 now. 1, 2, or 3. Hey, Gotta have options.
I respectfully disagree, but all right.
Okay, why?
When a man is wanted and desired by a lot of women, that puts him on an even higher pedestal, especially if you know that this man is desired by a bunch of women and he picks you. Now, I'm not saying he's involved with all these other women, but you know that he has a lot of other women and he may not be exercising those options. The woman that he does pick, because everybody wants someone that's wanted. Nobody, and we've had this discussion before. If a man is unwanted by anybody, then a woman's going to be like, why would I want him when nobody else does?
Well, not even that, but you can tell in his energy and his demeanor, like it's like an insecurity type of vibe. It's not even that, like,
that's right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not even that you're unwanted, but you acting like you unwanted. Yeah. My goodness.
Or men can be overly thirsty, which is never a good look. That never works out for you. Fellas, pretend you're not interested. You're not going to do it, but just try it. Don't right when you walk in start talking to women and approach women. No. Pretend like it ain't even no women in there. Walk in, get your little drink, sit down, get comfortable. Then you look around. Don't walk in like, yeah, yeah, girl, what's going on with you? Don't do that. You look thirsty.
Yeah, scope the scenery out.
Walk in like you got some damn confidence. All right, let's talk to Miss Rose. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I just want to share some things that happened back in the late 50s. We used to work downtown, and what we would do is we start off on Michigan and Water Street, because there was a place that served the best, what you might call tequila sunrises. And so because we got there every day, almost every other day, we'd go after work, they would give us a special deal, a mug of tequila sunrises for the price of a regular. And then we leave there and we walk down Water Street, whichever place fell fit. We would always go in like groups of 3 or more. And then we go on down. Then we went to a place that has Lucio Ball's last name in it because I don't want to advertise a place that's still in existence.
Oh, I guarantee they're closed.
Oh, no, they're open.
What they? Oh, you can advertise. What are they called?
McGillicuddy's.
Oh my God! Oh wow! McGillicuddy's been open that long?
Yes, it has.
That's a black bar now. That's a majority black clientele in McGillicuddy's now.
And then there was the 3 Irish pubs that were right off of, I think it's State Street and everything. They're still there. And then we walk on down to, I think it's Victoria's or Victor's or something. And that's what we would do. But you know what? When we started talking about why do people leave, sometimes people leave because once you travel all over, you know the grass is not greener on the other side. There's always some problem wherever you go. And I found that of all the places I've traveled, only one country seemed to have, they were too small. It was in Canada, Winnipeg, and Montreal. But outside of that, all the other places weren't worth me thinking about even moving within the states and everything. So many times people, the thing is, make your money work for you. You don't have to have much money. Just know how to make it turn over for you and make it work for you. And the thing is, there's so much things that needed done in Milwaukee. I said, if I leave, then you're going to find the same problem someplace else. So why not stay and work to make changes in where you live, and then you can be a part of the solution. And that's what we did. And because we did start moving up, then in the 80s, that's when the conspiracies and the different Republicans and things started writing things to cut us back. The more we moved up, the more they worked, the harder they worked. And once President Obama got in, that then got even triple. So the thing is, there were stages of growth, stages of forced denial, prior to, in the middle, and mid. It wasn't easy, but you know what? We had fun while we were doing it. And that's the key. Enjoy what you're doing, volunteer, do whatever is necessary, and make changes, but take your time and enjoy it while you're doing it. And that's what a lot of people in the new generations, I think the 3 generations of the last 3 generations, by them not being exposed to what can be, they only see what they have that is not there. And because if you never experienced it, you don't know that can be obtained. And this is why I think we really have to do more of getting that education part, whether it's GED or whatever. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And I just wanted to share that with you and put the audience that all you need to do, if you don't know, go do some reading. Just research what you enjoy. Research what you enjoy and start working on those problems. Because I'm still doing it, but I'm taking my time and I'm relaxing and enjoying in the middle. So,
all right.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Oh, well, can I say something about sex?
Can you say something about what now?
Sex.
No.
You see?
No.
Okay. I was just going to share a thought process. Just that sex between male and female doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who initiates it. The key is, if you got your confidence within yourself, you don't have to worry. But love yourself first, and then you can have fun with anyone you want to. Have a blessed day.
Period.
All right. Love yourself first. Is that masturbating? Love yourself?
I don't know, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I like how, and God bless Miss Rose, how they nostalgize the old days. Like, oh, we went to Water Street and we had a tequila sunrise.
That's how you sound. That's how you sound.
But we couldn't buy a house outside of the second aldermanic district where Vel Phillips got elected. Like, we didn't have a lot of opportunity. The police would bash your head in if you went out past 43rd and Capitol. But, we could have a tequila sunrise downtown. And I'm not poking fun of Miss Rose. It's just we always nostalgize the olden days. The caller is on line one. I know he's going to have something to say. Katie, did I meet you? Was Katie at Beyond the Mic, the lady that has the puppy dog avatar? Is that the one that said I was acting funny? I was not acting funny. I don't know what
that was
people
Tiffany.
mean. Tiffany said that. I don't know who this Katie person is. Katie says she wants a man like me. Ha!
Ooh.
Good luck. Good luck.
Bust it open. Get you some.
The caller, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you? Hello. Going once. I don't even hear.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got to be ready to go.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had you muted. I was saying some things that couldn't be on radio, so I had to be having another conversation. However, again, thank you so much for between you and Donald Trump. I've experienced a lot of new comedy this week because it's very funny how Savanna,
what do you mean by that?
As you just stated earlier, is a very bougie, well-traveled, and would be considered as a high-value woman in most people's eyes, correct? Young, even Mr. Samuels stated, whose philosophy your comments seem very close to, that a woman, of a certain age has greater value, which I totally disagree with, depending on who you are. And that's where I want to go with this. Alpha is in the eye of the beholder, because if you're not an alpha to the person that you want, particularly if it's if you're going around looking for one person, as some people seem to be, then you're not an alpha. No matter what things you have, whatever you do, like she said, that dude who was corny when he was the regular guy at the cash register will be more corny, as Primetime Sanders states. Money just makes you more of whatever you are. If you're a corny dude when you ain't got no money, you're gonna be even more corny, trying to seem like you're cool, instead of just being yourself. And that's what I want to offer to anybody who wants happiness. Be yourself. Quit playing all the hide and seek. Because most people who live in Milwaukee, the reason why you might see a man talking to a lot of women is because he grew up in this small community that you just talked about, especially during our age time frame of dating and clubbing. Most people lived in the same neighborhood, so you already knew most of the women, and you come in the club, and if you're outside of that, even just in Brown Deer, that person might seem thirsty, Professor. And so with that said, maybe, had we got you down to People's Lounge, a little early before you were 18, you would have experienced some of that you missed when you gained all the things that you did gain living in Brown Deer. There are some things that even you, being as entrenched in the city in some ways may have missed, sir. And so with that, that's what Savanna and I are here for you for.
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys.
Because you're about to be 50, man. And so, yes, you know, if we can help you in any way to escape those chains that seem to be on you,
no
know,
chains,
as far as your dating thing.
No help. No, I'm good. I know I'm actually doing okay.
It seems like you handcuff your own self, my brother. You know, because, I mean, even just, you know, intentionally hanging out with a friend instead of just hanging out with a friend and letting the chips fall where they may, and as Morris Day would say, jerking everything out of the club that you possibly can, that means pulling, back in the day.
You think,
you
think that's what I do?
Over there, and I'm just saying, if you have, it sounds like you stood over there, and it might have been many women who you wanted to approach, but all of your rules stop you. Free yourself when you get sick.
No,
you can do whatever you want.
I'm not talking about me. Let me be real clear. Y'all do not have to worry about me at all. I'm doing quite well. Never worry about me. I'm using examples from other downtrodden Milwaukeeans that are having a hard time.
I'm saying you would have been doing better in your 20s because you always talk about how you suffered and you and your friends didn't have any dates. Well, that's when most people
did I ever say that?
Most of their fun.
I was with the same girl from high school until I was in my mid-20s.
And you said, I've heard you say many times you and your friends until you were 30 just got drunk because you felt you had no value to women. And,
I never. No. You got me confused with another host. I literally. You think
I've heard you say this.
You must be drinking some of Rob's tequila vodka.
No,
I ain't never embarrassed myself like that.
And probably pull it up if I go in the archives.
Oh, fine, that one.
Where you said you. Because I've heard you frequently say that men under 30 have no value to women because they don't have things.
Hold on, caller. Wait, stop. I got to stop you right there. When I bring up situations, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about what I observe, not me. Anybody that has known me knows that I ran these streets for decades. In fact, I still do. I got ownership. Zach is co-signing for me right now. No, it's never been an issue.
And Zach is how old?
Literally half my age.
About when you were in your middle 20s now.
And Zach is astonished.
Zach wasn't born when you was in your middle 20s.
Zach is astonished by what he witnesses from me. No, Zach is usually my co-pilot.
Zach was in kindergarten when you was on the Basement Brothers,
I'm talking about my
probably around that time.
We hear over talking. I'm talking about my prowess right now. Zach has witnessed. If I remember that one, where was we at, Zach? Was we at Mexican OT or we was at Wisconsin Fest them too? Yeah, buddy. Anyways. Y'all gotta this is not me. Milwaukee women are, once you figure out the code to them, easy. Easy. All you gotta be is just a cut above the other dudes that are here. Like, literally just not be in jail. Don't be in jail at the moment. You can be fresh out or on your way, but just not, that actually helps tremendously. Because what I've noticed of the women that, not women that transplant here, but women that are from here, have seen so many men fall by the wayside that, and I hate to admit it, their standards can't be New York. Their standards cannot be LA. Their standards in Milwaukee cannot be Miami. They can't be. If you want such men, you literally got to go to those places. And those kinds of men that you would find in those places, they certainly are not coming to Milwaukee because there's not enough opportunity here. There's not enough like big time corporate Fortune 500 jobs here that would attract a particular caliber of woman. Those men that have a particular path of success. Now I was able to forge my path of success right here in this city. I didn't have to go anywhere. But a lot of other folks, they just, especially if you're black, you cannot find top-notch, top-tier opportunities here. And if you do, if you happen to be really, really successful in black, you're lonely. There's no culture for you. There's no neighborhood. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that belongs to a high level of black success that we can call our own. We got to go downtown with the white folks. And most of the time that's fine. But sometimes people that are black and have a tremendous amount of success, meaning you outpace most African Americans here, you don't stay here for very long because Milwaukee is extremely small townish. It's quite backwards. So talking about a whole different caliber of person. All right, let's take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation. It is Ben Jammin from Jammin' with Juice, and I want you to join me and my Truth team at our free and open to the public second annual Truth Family Fest Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School. There will be live music, free haircuts for kids, free backpacks filled with school supplies, and delicious food. We can't wait to see you on Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Truth Family Fest is presented by Associated Bank. Your money works here.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 101.7 The Truth.
So we do have a drug take-back box at Outreach Community Health Centers. So if people have medications at their home that they want to get rid of, they could bring it to our pharmacy and we'll dispose of it for them. Anything that's not being used, anything that's kind of out of date, even antibiotics, any other medications, definitely it's better to safely dispose of it, and definitely don't flush it down the toilet because that puts it back into our drinking water supply. So
why is that a bad thing, Annie? Why do we not want to flush our medication?
Yeah, so it contaminates our drinking water. It contaminates our waterways, so our rivers and lakes don't benefit from all of those medications entering into the water supply. And we don't also enter. We have great drinking water in the city of Milwaukee, but they can only filter out so many of the pharmaceuticals. So as much as we can to reduce the pharmaceutical supply in our drinking water, we'll all be better off.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all.
I made one call and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The caller's probably divorced like 7 times. And a lot of times those people that have like a trail of bad relationships, they have the best advice because they just want to tell you what they should have done in their relationships. Like, oh, no, here's what you do, see? No. Unbelievable.
Why are you talking mess? Because he got you?
No, not even close. He had me confused with things that I observed. Like, part of my job is to observe the world around me and try and put context to people's misery and complaints about Milwaukee. 'Cause y'all know that I just receive all the complaints about Milwaukee. Not just Al, but what people hate. They hate the dating scene. The men hate the women hate the men. I have been very fortunate in that regard that it ain't that bad. My approach has changed, obviously, not even my physical approach, because I got to be careful with that, because it's embarrassing. Sometimes it's embarrassing because if I approach somebody, like I expect somebody to know who I am, and that's terribly arrogant. If they don't know who I am, it's actually a good thing, but I don't know.
I know why you've had it easy.
It's easier for me. I don't want to even hear your logic. So women now, how do I say this without offending some of y'all? Women approach way more than they ever used to. And I think some women who are type A and are go-getters and are motivated and are driven in every other aspect of their lives, they're not going to sit back and wait for a man that they're interested in to notice them. Some women will offer to buy drinks. They'll come and start conversations. Some women will do the icebreakers themselves. That's fantastic. Because if we expect women to lead and run the household, well, then she can take control of her dating life. Because on dating websites, women don't always just sit back and just wait for guys to inbox them. If a woman gets on a paid dating website, she is sending messages to men that she finds interesting, intriguing, and attractive. She'll read his profile. She'll look at his pictures. Women absolutely approach. And some of that has transferred into the real world. Right? If a woman gets on a dating website and she's paying, like she's on there not to just see what filters through her inbox. No, she's on there to look for men that she's interested in, because you can put in your own parameters. You can put in income, education, where they're from, how many miles away from your zip code. Like, you can actually kind of sculpt the prototype of the person you are looking for. And men and women do this on dating websites. And so if a woman puts in all of her parameters, height, weight, education, income, whatever, and a list of guys comes up, and one that she finds attractive, he's witty and smart and humorous in his profile, she'll absolutely send him a message on a dating website. Some women will actually do that in person as well if they are serious about finding a person. Not even to get married, but just to have someone to hang out with and date.
Well, they have a whole app for that. Like, Bumble is for women actually going and hitting on the man first.
Precisely. And there's also a difference in the generations. I think the generations that have grown up with a digital footprint, meaning y'all have been on the internet since the day you were born. Even before you were born, you were on the internet. Some of y'all's mamas posted her ultrasound pictures on her MySpace page. Damn. So y'all have been on the internet even before you were human beings on Earth. Now, back in the day, before we had all this internet, people approached one another. That still exists in my generation, albeit less. It does still happen. Women approach men, men approach women. A lot of times men get approached and they don't even know it. They just think this woman is being nice. I don't know, if you're out in a social setting and a woman just comes up to you and makes conversation, yes, she probably is being nice, but she also probably has an interest. A woman is not going to approach and say hello to a man that she doesn't find at least somewhat attractive, because if she does, that can be dangerous. Like, you can't just go up to a random, well, Savanna, you are different. Because you'll walk up to a man and say he's handsome and then run away because you don't want to hear his response.
But didn't you just say that you do that as well? When you see a woman, I don't want to give a compliment, list, and then you'll talk to him and then you won't never say nothing to him again because you want them to turn around like, oh, who is that? Now, I don't necessarily have that motive, but I just want to give a compliment. A compliment is free. If you look good and my eyes are pleased, I'm going to let you know. You look good.
No, so what you just described is my approach. So what men do is they overstay their welcome. Like, you only have a real small window of time to bother a woman if you don't know her, she's a stranger, right? So if I go up to her, say something nice, say something flattering, make her laugh, I'm not just standing there like, yeah, hey, huh? I was like, hey, very nice to meet you, blah, 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 hey, blah, 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 and okay, I got to go, see you later. Because now she's just like,
No.
I'm not going to just hang around because she might need to get back to her friends too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But I think the nice format would be, like you said, go up to them and, crack a joke, whatever. Oh, where are you from? Or whatever the case is. Get them a drink and then you leave. That's how. Then they're going back to their friends. Girl, you done bought me a drink.
No. First of all, that don't work.
Yes, it do.
Savannah, there's too many women that go out just to get drinks bought for them. If I'm buying a woman a drink, I'm buying one for myself at the same time, and now we're going to have a conversation over that drink. I'm not giving a drink and walking away.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I mean, but yeah, I guess some drinks are currency to some women, but for those who just buy their drinks from themselves, it means something when a man comes up to you and chats with you, gets you a nice drink, and sends you on your merry way. It makes me think you want to take care of me. You want to make sure that I'm having fun at this party.
Now, the social setting is also very important. Bars are different. Bars in Milwaukee are weird. Bars in other cities outpace bars in Milwaukee. In Milwaukee, people go out to the bar to get drunk with their friends. In every other place in America, people go out to a bar to meet people. Not here.
And that's what's so hard, and that's what I hate. We don't like to mingle and congregate with each other. It's just, okay, we with our friends, and you don't want to talk. That is probably the biggest pet peeve that I have of today's, going out nightlife culture. Yeah. Nobody wants to mingle. Everybody wants to act shy. It's annoying.
So the setting is very important. So one of the best places I think there is to meet people, It's got to be like at a specific event. So a political fundraiser, you get the fancy people out there, you got the bougie people out there, you got people with money and status and education, and you all have something in common. Your politics are in common, and you're all there to support a particular elected official. So automatically, the ice is broken with everybody that's in there. And if you see somebody at a political fundraiser and you don't know them, everybody has and is expected to introduce themselves to everybody else that's there. And so you have a bunch of stuff in common. Your politics are the same. You're there supporting the same candidate. Broke people don't really go to political fundraisers, so they got some money, and it's a lot easier that way. So if there is an event where there's a person in common, like if one of my friends has like a birthday party and they have like a private engagement at a who knows where they have it at, maybe at a restaurant, in a private room, something, that's a lot easier to meet people because you're all there for the same person. Like, oh, you know so-and-so? How do you know them? And then the ice is already broken. The caller says, Savanna, he know I got him. Get out of here. You made all that stuff up. Why would I sit here and say that I drank my way through my 30s and went home by myself because I couldn't meet women? I racked up in my 30s, actually. My 30s was like, you ever go to the casino and just win on every hand you bet? Let's see what else I'm missing here. Have we figured out Milwaukee's problems today? We were supposed to do that. That was the whole goal of this show. We had a whole bunch of issues of black people that are upper middle class, more likely to live in neighborhoods where there's a disproportionate number of poor black people, and then there's a classism clash that exists, like black folks that live in black neighborhoods don't want more affordable housing, and black folks that may own their properties get mad at black renters because the renters might be more likely to throw trash on the ground, and then Al called and complained about houses that need to be torn down. Oh, that wouldn't survive in the suburbs. He complained about the bump outs, which I agree are unsightly, but we had to do something about reckless driving because it was incessant. The community was just outraged about reckless driving. If one of the solutions was bump outs, we can't just blame our elected officials. We got to blame the reckless drivers. So I know we identified a bunch of problems, but I don't know if we solved any. And here we are talking about relationships and dating. I saw Kyle's mom at the last Beyond the Mic, and she said when we talk about dating and relationships, she turns the radio off. It's not my problem. All right, we got to take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM is going to be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 101.7 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
How many times have we been told perception is reality? Look, I'm not here to dispute that, but as true as that statement is, it couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to social media. The way we perceive something or somebody on social media is typically nowhere near how things are in their real lives. Unfortunately, identifying the difference between people's online life versus their real lives gets compromised because people want it to be real, and that's okay. What's not okay is people trying to live up to these fictitious lives that's being presented and getting thousands of likes. You often see posts of people on vacation with the caption, "Living my best life," or "So-and-so doesn't owe me anything." Again, nothing wrong with that, but I wish people would view social media like they do SportsCenter. On those type of sports shows, they only show the highlights of the game. Highlights. On social media, you're only seeing the highlights of people's lives because you probably won't get many likes on a post that shows you stressing over having more bills than money and trying to figure it out. The point is, don't get caught up trying to live up to something that isn't even real. Influencers are going to influence, and some have made a hefty living doing so. But happiness isn't a one-size-fit-all contraption. Create your own happiness. Plan out how you're going to obtain it, and then protect it the same way you would guard your most prized possession.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Truth Nation, join the United Negro College Fund as they host their 40th annual Milwaukee Walk for Education at Veterans Park on Saturday, August 10th. The event raises funds to support scholarships for students at historically black colleges and universities across the country, and 2024 marks the 80th anniversary where they have raised over $5 billion and supported over 500,000 students. Join the UNCF Walk for Education on Saturday, August 10th at Veterans Park starting at 8 a.m. by visiting uncf.org/events to register today.
UW Credit Union here, celebrating new branches with ribbon cutting ceremonies. And not just our 13 Milwaukee area branches. We're also including our mobile app, which is like a branch in your pocket to check accounts, make transfers, and more on the go. So now, branches are opening 24/7, which is great for our members, but hard on our fingies. Oh, cramp. UW Credit Union, local mobile banking made simple. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Family Fest is back. The award-winning 1017 The Truth is proud to announce our second annual Truth Family Fest, Saturday, August 17th, same location as last year at Riverside High School. We're going to have music and food, and we're giving away backpacks. That's a shocker. Mark your calendars for this exciting event. Come enjoy the music, food, and fun at our second annual Truth Family Fest, Saturday, August 17th at Riverside High School. Truth Family Fest is presented by Associated Bank, your money works here, and sponsored by MPS, UW Milwaukee, Gruber Law Offices, Erie Insurance, American Family Insurance, Outreach Community Health Centers, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Ascension, Wisconsin, and MATC. And 1017 The Truth Street Team, sponsored by the UW Credit Union, is coming to an event near you. Tomorrow from noon until 5 p.m., they'll be at the Black Arts Fest MKE, enjoying all the creative black art that Milwaukee has and will be creating. The 1017 The Truth Street Team is sponsored by the UW Credit Union. They're here for every you. Somebody asked in either on the text messages or the YouTube, how do we fix the north side? I don't know. It could be move away from it. That might be, I don't know. Like, I'm not expecting people to fix stuff. Miss Rose brought up a point, like, oh, no, if you get money, you don't have to move away to another place. You know, you stay here and you help fix stuff. What I have witnessed, now granted, my sphere is somewhat limited. It's political, but politics runs on money, including local elections. And most people don't give. A lot of people have been giving to Kamala Harris, but that's different. She represents something very, very different than someone giving to a mayoral candidate, an aldermanic candidate, county supervisor, state assembly, state senate candidate. Most of you all don't give. In fact, if some of you do give to political candidates, you've probably given to Obama and Kamala more so than you've given to a candidate for a local office, right? So the people that have money, that want to make a difference, right? They don't move away. They say, oh, I'm here in Milwaukee. I want to fix it. And they see one way of improving the community is getting people elected that see the problems, and when they get elected, they want to apply solution, okay? And so if you're one of those people, you have money, and you don't want to leave Milwaukee because you love it, you want it to be better, you won't get any rest because everyone is going to want money from you. When I say everyone, not just every candidate, every nonprofit, every activist, every person with an idea, every person that wants to start a business that can't get bank financing, and that is why a lot of people leave. Because if you make it known that you want to invest your money in improving Milwaukee, when people hear that, everybody hits you up for money. That's how it goes. So, Savanna, do we have an update on Linda and her pizza buying?
Yes, I just talked with her. Should be here shortly.
So let me get this straight.
Thank you, Ms. Shaq.
She ordered pizza from Pizza Shuttle.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. The Pizza Shuttle that's on Farwell. Okay.
Yes.
Not the pizza shuttle that is literally 22 feet away from where we're broadcasting from. So not the pizza shuttle right here in the 3rd Street Market Hall. No. She ordered from the...
But she tried.
Okay.
So it's on the way. 2 minutes, perhaps.
First of all, how is she going to get in the building?
DoorDash.
She DoorDashed a pizza to the 3rd Street Market Hall. Let me get this straight. She DoorDashed a pizza shuttle pizza to the 3rd Street Market Hall, where there's a pizza shuttle right around, like I'm literally pointing at it.
Yeah.
So, just so you know, we've tried this before and it's been a miserable disaster. DoorDashers don't know where to enter this building. So what'll happen is they'll probably park in the parking structure. They'll come to the upstairs, right? They have to get, if there's nobody sitting at that desk, they're just going to sit out there with the pizza. And then they're going to be upstairs. So that pizza is going to have to walk all the way down through the corporate offices, where by the time it gets down here, it may not be nothing left but the smell of the box.
I wish they would, but let me tell you this. They're going to actually call this phone right here, 1017.
Okay.
And I'm going to answer and let them know exactly what to do.
All
if
right.
you guys are listening in the GKB, watch out. It's not yours.
Don't threaten those people.
I didn't threaten them. I just let them know. It's not yours.
So she had a pizza delivered via DoorDash.
Yes, and we thank her kindly for it.
All right. Well, I have to go to lunch after this, so I'm not going to be able to partake.
Oh, what you finna eat?
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to, somebody just texted me.
No.
Did you just text me?
No, Kyle. Kyle think he finna get him a slice. Ooh.
What?
You don't even know what's on it, Kyle.
So, first of all, is this pizza for me? Because remember,
you know it's not for you. I've made that very clear that it's not for you. You can partake, but it's not for you.
So Linda called and said, "Hi, I'm going to order you a pizza, but not Sherwin."
She said, "Hey, you want some pizza?" I said, "Yeah, I want some pizza."
Did she mean for us? Yes, she did.
Definitely not for you specifically.
Oh, is this because of what happened yesterday?
Yes, and I told you that. Yes.
So that was, first of all, that pizza was purchased for me. That's number one. Okay, because somebody owed me, then they were paying back a debt. And it was a small pizza. It was not a very large pizza. And so I got my pizza yesterday. It's very small. There wasn't a lot of pieces in the pizza. It's a very small pizza. And I went out to a little area out there, and then Rhea always looks hungry. You ever just look at her face? She has a general look of hunger on her face. What? And she was just like, I haven't eaten in so long. Sherwin, may I please? Oh, God. Wasting away to nothing. I said, yes, Rhea, you can have a piece of pizza. And then, Danielle, who's just rude and ornery. I know you're going to give me some of that pizza.
She don't sound like that.
Yes, she does. She does sound exactly like that.
But I had asked you even before you went to get that pizza. I said, I know you're going to save me a slice. And you was being ornery.
No, I wasn't.
And you didn't give me no slice. So with that being said, going back to Miss Shack, I said, it's going to be for me and what I want. Because you played and you didn't save me a slice. Now I might cut you off 1/4 of a slice because I'm a kind individual. Okay?
Keep your little fork.
A little snack before you go to lunch.
Keep your pizza. No. I don't even want none. And plus, I got a feeling that it's never going to arrive.
Watch.
It's never going to come.
Watch this.
Okay. Well, we need to be figuring out the rest of Milwaukee's problems. I only got 10 minutes left in my show. And some of that 10 minutes has got to be commercials that I need to play right now. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I can't go back to the High Regency now. I'm done with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you tell me what happened, this doesn't make any sense. Because this can happen to me. I'm a black man by myself. I don't know, what did he do to deserve that?
Nothing.
You heard someone screaming for help.
Thank you so much, Eastside Corey. And the passion that you hear in Eastside Corey's voice is the exact passion that it should be demonstrated by our elected officials.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done.
Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
There are individuals in our community who certainly need health services, a variety of health services. What if they do not have health insurance? How can you serve that population?
Our community health center allows patients to come to our clinic regardless of their ability to pay, and that's part of our federal funding. You can come to our clinic and be seen based on what we call a poverty level. So anyone 200% or below a poverty level can be seen in our clinic for anywhere from $20 to $40 for that visit. So in other words, if your visit is a $400 visit and you fall on our sliding scale where you pay $20 for your visit, you would not be responsible for the $400. You'd only be responsible for $20 for that visit. Also, our pharmacy prescriptions are very, very affordable as well. Where you would normally pay, let's say for an inhaler, $240 a month for an inhaler, at our facility that would cost you about $4 or $5.
It's very good to know you guys have a sliding scale that makes it very, very affordable.
Brewers 5 County Fridays are now Wisconsin First Fridays. All Wisconsin residents get half off Brewers tickets at the first Friday home game of each month. Check out the schedule and get yours at brewers.com/Wisconsin Fridays.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I called that girl the other day because I was going to buy her lunch. I was on the air, and I was going to have her order some food. I was going to give her my credit card, let her get whatever she wanted, okay? So I called her when I was on commercial break, okay? She, first of all, didn't answer my call. Then she texted back, just no. She didn't even know what I wanted, and she just said no. Terrible attitude on that woman. All right. Any comments worth reading here? I don't know what are y'all talking about? Katie, Al says, Al. We can start by picking up garbage, calling the city inspectors about these abandoned houses and uncontrollable tenants. Yeah, you can call city inspectors, Al, but that don't mean much is going to happen. So maybe they'll come out to the property, they'll inspect it or whatever, they'll find the property owner, which is usually an out-of-state absentee landlord, which hit or miss whether they fix anything. What I would like people to be aware of, and this is all the more reason why I need to get this campaign training course up and running. I'm thinking early 2025. There's going to be a lot of turnover in elected positions between now and 2026. Turnover, as in people are not going to run for re-election. A number of elected officials that I think have our community's best interest in mind they're going to take other jobs, they're going to walk away from public office, or they're going to run for higher office, vacating their current positions. And my concern is, it is now what it always has been. We don't have a bench of people ready to run for those positions. Like, we need a group of folks that are at the ready if the mayor gets appointed by Kamala Harris somewhere. Like, who do we have running for mayor? And it can't be the same old people. if several alders decide they want to go into the private sector or they don't want to run for re-election again because they want to focus on other things, they want to spend more time with their family, who do we have? And a lot of times we just get a bunch of random people. So, we had kind of involved in it right now, the election for the 4th Senate district. That is the seat that Lena Taylor vacated. Right now, Dora Drake is the incumbent Senate, but she's just finishing out the rest of Senator Taylor's term. The 4-year term election is going on right now, but that election date is actually August 13th. That's also the ballot where you have the 2 referenda where you're going to vote no on those. But the people that are running in Dora Drake's vacated assembly seat and Lakeisha Myers' vacated assembly seat, no clue who they are. No clue. Don't know who they are. Never talked to them. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just that once they get into office, they're going to have to introduce themselves to the rest of the city of Milwaukee, because even though those are just 2 assembly seats, they represent all of Milwaukee's interests, but we don't know who they are. And I'd rather us be more familiar with the people who would be potential candidates instead of people just running randomly. So Aisha Carr is no longer on the school board. James Ferguson, I think he's the only candidate. And James, he's been around for a while. I know the other day I couldn't think of his name. I feel bad about that. Sorry, James, if you were listening. And he'll be okay, I think. I think he's run for office before a couple of times. But we want a plethora of people that see the world the way we do, that have the same issues and complaints that we do. So when they get elected to office, they will legislate accordingly. Now we just get people who are politically ambitious a lot of times, or the people that happen to be available. So in aldermanic races, especially because, they got that fat raise, they make 80 plus grand now. Some folks are going to run for alder in the coming years, and maybe some people even sooner than later are going to run for alderman, not because they want to be good stewards of tax dollars, not because they want to fix and help clean up neighborhoods and be great leaders and be examples for the youth in the community. They're going to run for alder just to have a job, because it is a position where you can do the bare minimum and still get your maximum salary and get elected every 4 years. And I'm not saying that we have elected officials that are doing that now, but it's very, very possible for them to do that. And so this has got to be a full community effort for those of us that are concerned about the direction of Milwaukee. So elected officials, that's just part of it. Some of it is us. Some of it is policymakers way upstream. Some of it is the governor. Some of it is who our member of the U.S. Senate is, who our congressperson is. Like, all of us have to be in this together. But the majority of it, though, has got to come from us. We've got to set standards and make it abundantly clear what we will and will not tolerate. But it all started from this. I posted the link of the documentary in the chat, but for some reason I don't see it. What is this guy's name? It explores Tommy G is in the documentary, and it's about Milwaukee Northside neighborhoods where they're just talking to the youth that are just hanging on the streets. And then maybe they grow up and maybe they change, maybe they straighten up and fly right. But it just doesn't seem like they have a real hopeful, positive future. Just because I saw the big stacks of cash and guns hanging out their pocket, like, that's not. And why are they so okay with being on YouTube with a pistol hanging out your pocket, with an extended magazine? Like, that's not, you don't want to do that.
I feel like when even in the hood, whether you're on TV, they put you on, as long as they see a camera, they like, yes. Like, I told people wherever I worked at a newsroom in Fox 54 down in Huntsville, what, you work down there? Can I get on it? They don't know. They don't know.
Well, they're going to F around and find out, because the Kia Boys documentary got a dude locked up for like 20 years. Because he was all up in the video, dancing up in the video, bragging on the video. I think a lot of people want to tell their story. And because that gives them, they get a lot of clout in the hood being a certain way. But if you have a warrant out for your arrest and you're in the video, that's not helpful. Because a lot of times people want to hide from law enforcement if you're wanted. I remember back in the day, people, no, I can't go with y'all. I got a warrant. Oh, okay. Or no, I can't do that. I'm on probation. They would just play it cool. Now they want, hey, you got a YouTube channel? Here, feature me. Here's my pistol. Here's my dope. Look at all my dollars. I've got big stacks of thousands of dollars. And then they do this thing. You ever seen when they hold the money up to their ear? Like what is that? You hold like you talking
Money
to
calling.
Money calling. Okay. Zach, do you do that? Do you hold big stacks of your DJ money up to your ear? Okay. I just hold my credit score up to my ear. Oh my God, he did. Zach disappeared for like 30 minutes and came back with several $100s in cash. All right, I got to go. We solved all Milwaukee's problems. Great. I'll see you on Monday or whenever I come back. Goodbye.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The one